Chapter 29-20. As Duanmu Shu attacked with all his might, the god-locking formation stabilized for the time being. Even so, Xia Pei was still terrified. Fortunately, there was a lord holding the fort. Otherwise, he would have really failed miserably. He had to kill the other party. Xia Pei was envious, jealous, and hateful because he knew that if he could not kill the other party successfully after this incident, he would definitely have a hard time in the future. However, Longao was not worried at all. They were both god-locking formations, but the one that he had set up was far more powerful than the one that the other party had set up. There was no doubt about that. However, the other party had a lord holding the fort. This was indeed a little troublesome. It was indeed not an easy task to suppress the other party's god-locking formation. What should he do? It was almost impossible to suppress it with the formation alone. Longao did not sit around and wait for death. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him. If he could not kill the Lord and Xia Pei, he would be letting them down. Thinking of this, with the help of the formation, Longao kept changing his position. Disappeared. Originally, when the formations were stacked and no one could suppress the other party, it was impossible to lock onto the other party's position. Xia Pei knew very well that if it were not for Duanmu Shu holding the fort, he would not have been able to win. The god-locking formation that the other party had set up was indeed more powerful than his. Even if he did not want to admit it, the truth was right before his eyes. Duanmu Shu's primordial spirit was suddenly severely injured. He immediately used his primordial spirit to counterattack. However, the other party had already disappeared without a trace. He did not even need to ask to know who had ambushed him. Longao. Brother Duanmu, what happened? He briefly recounted the events that had just transpired. After hearing Duanmu Shu's words, Xia Pei was rather surprised. He did not seem to believe it. Even if Longao was a level 3 elixir inscription master and a level 3 formation master, he was still only a medium god. Moreover, he was only a beginner medium god. What about Duanmu Shu? Duanmu Shu was a bona fide beginner-level lord. Xia Pei knew better than anyone else just how great the difference in strength between Longao and Duanmu Shu was. The two of them could not be compared at all. Even if Longao launched a sneak attack, wanting to heavily injure Duanmu Shu's primordial spirit seemed to be a little impossible too. Duanmu Shu would not lie as there was no need for him to do so. If that was the case, Xia Pei could not figure out how Longao did it. Brother Duanmu, is Longao's primordial spirit that powerful? He shook his head. Duanmu Shu did not believe that Longao's primordial spirit could injure him. After thinking for a while, Duanmu Shu said, if I'm not mistaken, Longao should have cultivated a primordial spirit offensive martial technique. Fortunately, he's only a mid-level deity. If he were a peak high-level deity or a core deity, I'm afraid, Duanmu Shu didn't continue, but the meaning of his words was very clear. Just as Duanmu Shu had guessed. Longao's primordial divinity had grown explosively after his cultivation level had broken through to become an early-stage god. It was now completely comparable to the primordial divinity of a high god. However, if he wanted to heavily injure a sovereign, even if he succeeded in a sneak attack, he wouldn't be able to do so. The primordial divinity of a sovereign was just too powerful. Even so, Xia Pei was still shocked. He knew very well what a primordial spirit offensive martial technique meant. It could be said that among all martial techniques, primordial spirit offensive martial techniques were the most difficult to obtain. Not to mention others, even a divine emperor might not have such a martial technique. He had never imagined that Longao would have such a heaven-defying martial technique. If he could obtain this primordial spirit offensive martial technique, it would be of great help to his own strength and primordial divinity. It was very greedy. Just as Xia Pei was lost in his thoughts, he suddenly felt a stabbing pain in his primordial spirit. Duanmu Shu, who was beside him, instantly knew what had happened. He did not dare hesitate and immediately took action, sending his power into Xia Pei's body. Xia Pei was covered in cold sweat. Brother Duanmu, thank you so much this time. If you had not taken action in time, I'm afraid I would be dead now. Until now, Xia Pei was still in fear. He could clearly feel that his primordial divinity had been severely attacked. He was just one step away from being a dead man. Longao's primordial spirit offensive martial technique was so powerful that Duanmu Shu, as a sovereign god, might not be afraid. However, he was a superior god and had to be on guard. If he had been on guard all the time, Longao would not have been able to succeed in his sneak attack. Even Duanmu Shu was a little surprised. He had never imagined that Longao's primordial spirit offensive martial technique would be so heaven-defying. Brother Xia, we'd better be careful. Your formation is unable to suppress him and he seems to be able to lock on to our position. In this case, he can launch sneak attacks on us at any time. Duanmu Shu did not continue speaking as he did not know what to say. Xia Pei, who was originally full of confidence, was not as powerful as he had imagined after the formation was overlaid. He was even in a passive situation. If he had not been guarding the formation, Xia Pei would have been a dead man by now. Xia Pei's face turned red. This was indeed not what he had imagined. He had thought that Longao was only a grade 1 formation master and that it would be a piece of cake for him to kill him. However, he did not expect that the other party was not only a grade 3 formation master, but also a grade 3 formation master who could firmly suppress his formation. He could not lock on to the other party, but the other party could lock on to both of them. Based on this point alone, he was already at a disadvantage. The worst thing was that the other party had such a heaven-defying primordial spirit offensive martial technique. If he was not careful, his primordial spirit would be severely injured and he would be doomed eternally. He even regretted getting involved in this mess. However, it was too late for regrets. If he retreated now, even if he was not afraid of Nangong Chen, he was afraid that Nangong Fengfeng would not let him go. Xia Pei knew himself well. Although he could rely on the formation to fight against an over-god, he could only wait to be captured by a divine king. Moreover, Nangong Fengfeng was not an ordinary divine king. He was a peak divine king who could kill a junior divine emperor. Duanmu Shu, Longao is not a simple person. Even I do not have full confidence in killing him. I have tried just now. If we want to leave the formation, we must first break the other party's formation. Otherwise, you mean, we can't leave the formation now? That's right. He sighed deeply in his heart. He also did not expect that Longao would actually be a peak level 3 array master. The God Sealing array that he set up was actually so powerful. Not only did it firmly suppress his own array, it even suppressed the two of them so that they were unable to leave. It was still the same sentence: if they wanted to leave the array, they first had to break the array. It was easy to imagine but difficult to actually do it. Chapter 29-21. Duanmu Shu was enraged. If it wasn't for the fact that he needed Xia Pei, he would have slapped this person to death. Outside the formation. After the two formations overlapped, they had disappeared. All that could be seen were the moving dots of light. Nangong Chen was very worried. He didn't know what was wrong with him. He knew that the outcome was already decided, but he was still worried. It seemed like he was worrying too much. Xia Pei was a true grade 3 formation master. Even if Longao was a formation master, he was at most a grade 1 formation master. It was a piece of cake for a grade 3 formation master to suppress a grade 1 formation master. Chen, what are you worried about? Looking at his father who had suddenly appeared beside him, Nangong Chen said worriedly, "Father, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just feel like something is wrong." Oh. Nangong Fengfeng was very curious about his son's feelings. Immediately, Nangong Chen smiled and said, "Father, it seems like I'm overthinking. How can Longao suppress Xia Pei? A grade 3 formation master can fight against a lord." Indeed. The strength of a grade 3 formation master was needless to say. After Xia Pei restrains Longao, find someone to search Longao's soul. "Father, I want to search Longao's soul personally." How could Nangong Fengfeng not know what his son was thinking? If it were someone else searching Longao's soul, they wouldn't feel at ease. After all, Longao had too many secrets. However, Nangong Fengfeng was extremely unwilling to let his son search his soul. Nangong Fengfeng had high hopes for his son. Perhaps in a few hundred or thousand years, Chen would be able to break through to the overgod level and become a divine king. If that was the case, it was obvious what it would mean. Nangong Fengfeng sighed deeply. Chen I know what you mean. However, you should know that searching a warrior's soul by force is harmful to the great Tao. When the time comes, your cultivation will be greatly hindered. Let alone becoming a divine king, who knows? Before Nangong Fengfeng could finish, Nangong Chen said, Father, even if I can't break through, I'll do it myself. You. Father, you've been stuck at the top of the divine king realm for so many years. Even though you can kill low-level divine emperors, you're still a divine king. If you can break through to the divine emperor realm, it'll be a great opportunity for us. Nangong Chen's face was resolute. He knew very well what it meant to be a peak god king and a primary god emperor. His father had been trapped at the peak of the god king realm for too many years. If their father could really break through to the divine emperor realm, it would be great news for them. He sighed deeply again. Inside the formation, Longao could clearly lock onto the position of the two people, but it was impossible for the two of them to lock onto him. Sneak attack. A sneak attack and a primordial spirit attack. However, Duanmu Shu was simply too strong. Even Xia Pei's sneak attack had failed to kill Duanmu Shu. If not for Duanmu Shu, Xia Pei would have been a dead man by now. Both sides were in a deadlock. Time passed quickly. Unknowingly, a whole day and night had passed. Gradually, Nangong Chen and Duanmu Shu began to realize that something was amiss. Under normal circumstances, with Xia Pei's formation and the help of an overgod, killing Longao would be a piece of cake. However, after a whole day and night, there was no news at all. What's going on? Father, there won't be any accidents, right? Nangong Feng's face became more and more solemn. He wouldn't believe that there wasn't anything fishy going on. However, he couldn't figure out how Longao, a mere mid-god, could withstand the joint attack of Xia Pei and Duanmu Shu. Let's continue to wait. Since things had come to this, there was no other way but to wait. They just hoped that there wouldn't be any accidents. The longer they delayed, the more disadvantageous it would be for them. Because no one knew when the people from the main palace would arrive. Once they arrived, with Longao's talent and possession of the strange flame, even if they wanted to take action, it would be a bit unrealistic. Wait. Nangong Chen seemed to want to say something, but he swallowed it in the end. Pill Palace. Dongfang Tu Ying had also received the news. That was why he was a little shocked. He never thought that Nangong Chen and Duanmu Shu would invite Xia Pei to deal with Longao. He wasn't unfamiliar with Xia Pei. Xia Pei was the strongest formation master in the Blackstone Heavenly region. If it was before, Dongfang Tu Ying would have gone to help Longao immediately. However, the situation was obviously different now. Before he left, Longao had repeatedly warned him not to show himself no matter what happened. Moreover, Longao was a third-grade formation master. If the two of them were to fight, it would be hard to tell who would win. Dongfang Tu Ying sighed. Even Nangong Chen and Duanmu Shu wouldn't have thought that Longao was a third-grade formation master. Such heaven-defying talent, not to mention the Blackstone Heavenly region, even in the entire chaotic world, there weren't many who could achieve it. In the future, Longao's name would definitely shake the entire chaotic world. Not only the Pill Palace, even the other places in the Blackstone City were deeply shocked. After all, there was no such thing as an absolute secret. Not only did the Nangong City Lord and Nangong City Lord take action personally, they even invited Xia Pei. This was something that was impossible. With such a lineup, to kill a god would be a simple matter. However, what was the result? Not only was Longao not killed, he was fighting with Xia Pei. It was still unknown who would win. Could it be that Longao was also a formation master? That was impossible. Everyone knew that Longao was a third-grade pill marking master. How could he be a formation master as well? Especially since he was able to fight with Xia Pei. Didn't that mean that if Longao was really a formation master, he would also be a third-grade formation master? Was this real? Many people were asking in their hearts. Many people didn't believe it. However, the place before was completely sealed by the City Lord's mansion. No one could enter at all. Hence, No one knew what happened inside. Longao knew that he wouldn't be able to kill the two of them with a sneak attack, but he still kept on attacking. Especially with the Nirvana consciousness. As long as he could succeed once, he would be able to kill the two of them. At this moment, no matter if it was Xia Pei or Duanmu Shu, both of them were extremely depressed. They didn't expect Longao to be so difficult to deal with. Time and time again, even though he knew that it wouldn't work, he still didn't want to give up. The other party wasn't annoyed, but they were annoyed. Gradually, the two of them let down their guard. Chapter 29-22. Their chance had come. The two of them could let down their guard, but Longao was constantly scheming. He would definitely succeed in one strike. This time, no matter what, he could not fail again. This was not the way to go. After all, the opponent's formation still had a master god overseeing it. Otherwise, his formation alone would be able to completely suppress Xia Pei. Longao was already a peak third-level formation master. If he had enough materials and time, it was possible for him to set up an even more powerful third-level formation master. If that was the case, then even killing a master god would not be difficult. Unfortunately, relying on the god-locking formation alone to kill a master god was practically a fool's dream. It was impossible. Little Black, it's up to you now. Its furry body only had 2 eyes that were rolling around. As Longao's cultivation level broke through, Little Black's cultivation level actually continued to break through as well. From 2nd level, it directly broke through to 3rd level, which was the so-called higher god. Woo woo, woo woo woo. Alright. After Longao and Little Black separated, the two of them each found their own targets. Longao continued to launch sneak attacks on Duanmu Shu, while Little Black focused on dealing with Xia Pei. Longao had full confidence in Xiao Hei. This little guy's strength was very strong. It wouldn't be difficult for him to kill Xia Pei. As long as Xia Pei died, then the formation he had set up would be completely ineffective. If that was really the case, Longao could give it a try and see if he could kill this master god. Longao, you really are a coward. You only dare to launch sneak attacks behind my back. If you have the ability, come out and fight me. Duanmu Shu was completely enraged. This was because the opponent was relying on the formation and did not want to fight him head-on at all. If this continued, who knew when this would end? He was very depressed. A mighty master god coming in to deal with a junior like me. You really are shameless. Shameless to the extreme. Just as Duanmu Shu was about to continue provoking the opponent to draw him out, the situation suddenly changed. A scream instantly rang out through the entire formation. Ah! What exactly happened? Little Black was currently devouring Xia Pei's primordial spirit frantically. In just a few seconds, Xia Pei's primordial spirit had been completely devoured. The corpse fell to the ground. Longao, who was attacking Duanmu Shu, heard the scream and knew that Little Hei had succeeded. He was pleasantly surprised. Longao didn't continue the sneak attack. He immediately came to Blackie's side and patted his head. Well done. I'll let you devour the main god's primordial spirit later. Your cultivation should be able to improve. Longao was also shocked by Blackie's devouring ability. The more energy Blackie devoured, the faster its cultivation speed would be. Until now, he still did not know what kind of spirit beast Blackie was. He kicked the corpse on the ground. In an instant, the corpse was sent flying. Nangong Chen and Nangong Xiao, who were waiting anxiously, suddenly saw a clump of black night rapidly approaching. They did not dare to be careless and did not attack to destroy it. They only allowed the clump of black night to land steadily in front of them. Looking at the corpse on the ground, Nangong Baofeng snorted coldly. What he was afraid of really happened. They had already guessed that Longao was not only a level 3 elixir inscription master, but also a level 3 formation master. Although they were unwilling to believe it, the truth was right in front of them. Father, we still underestimated this person. Nangong Baofeng nodded and said, I miscalculated. I didn't expect him to be so talented. Oh no. As if he had thought of something, Nangong Baofeng did not continue to wait. He immediately headed towards the formation in front of him. He used space imprisonment and space domain to attack the formation wildly. Longao, who was thinking of a way to deal with the main god, heard the energy coming from outside. He already knew that Nangong Baofeng had begun to forcefully break the formation. If he could become a level 4 formation master and set up a level 4 formation, even a god king would find it difficult to break it. But now, if he wanted to rely on the god-locking formation to stall for time, it was obviously a little too much. He sighed deeply. With no other choice, Longao could only enter the primal chaos palace. As soon as he disappeared, the god-locking formation was forcefully broken. At this moment, Duanmu Shu finally heaved a sigh of relief. He really could not understand how a mere middle god could be so heaven-defying. He even killed Xia Pei. It was unbelievable. Duanmu Shu, what happened? Tell me quickly. Seeing how anxious Nangong Baofeng was, Duanmu Shu did not dare to hesitate. He recounted everything that happened in the formation in detail, not missing a single word. After listening, the faces of the two were extremely gloomy. It was as ugly as it could get. In this world, there was actually such a heaven-defying person who cultivated martial Dao, alchemy Dao, and formation Dao at the same time. Moreover, he had cultivated them all to level 3. The two of them knew very well what kind of concept this was. Domain Lord, City Lord, Longao is definitely not simple. We must kill him as soon as possible. From this, we can see that Longao's formation Dao can advance at any time. Once he becomes a 4th formation master, his 4th formation Dao will be able to kill even us. A 4th formation master definitely had the ability to kill an overgod. This was without a doubt. Nangong Baofeng and Nangong Baofeng obviously knew what Duanmu Shu meant. The two of them were helpless. Longao was an anomaly. Since things had developed to this point, they had to eliminate him completely. Otherwise, once the tiger returned to the mountain, there would be endless trouble in the future. However, Longao possessed a heaven-defying artifact. It was basically impossible for him to break through the artifact. Otherwise, they would not have invited Xia Pei over. They had never thought that even a 3rd formation master would not be able to deal with Longao. Seal this place. No one is allowed to take a single step in. Those who disobey will be killed without mercy. Yes. The news of Longao killing Xia Pei instantly spread through the entire Blackrock City. Everyone who heard the news paled in fright. Everyone knew what Xia Pei's death signified. Xia Pei was a genuine 3rd-level formation master. He was also a high-level god. Longao was only a mid-level god, and a beginner mid-level god at that. The difference between the two of them was obvious. Under normal circumstances, Xia Pei could kill Longao in a matter of minutes. However, not only did Xia Pei fail to kill Longao, he was instead killed by Longao. What did this mean? As long as one was not an idiot, they would be able to guess that Longao was not only a 3rd-level pill inscription master, but also a 3rd-level formation master. Just how did such a heaven-defying person cultivate? It was simply unbelievable. Chapter 29-23. Inside the Pill Palace. Dongfang Tu Ying had also received the news. He was stunned for 3 minutes. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, Dongfang Tu Ying laughed wildly. His laughter was filled with excitement and surprise. He didn't expect Brother Long to be able to kill Xia Pei. This meant that Brother Long wasn't just a rank 3 array master, he was even a peak rank 3 array master. Not only was he a dual mysterious flame master, but he was also a rank 3 array master. Such a heaven-defying person would probably be recruited by countless forces. But what about the main palace? Until now, the main palace didn't say anything. Dongfang Tu Ying couldn't understand what the main palace was doing. He had already sent the news about the mysterious flame back to the main palace. Under normal circumstances, the main palace should have already sent someone over. But until now, there wasn't even a ghost in the main palace. Could it be that the main palace didn't plan to keep Longao? That didn't seem possible. After all, Longao's talent was there for all to see. What was going on? Palace Master Dongfang, why are you so excited? Looking at the woman who suddenly appeared in front of him, Dongfang Tu Ying was delighted. The woman's face was cold. She had an oval face and willowy eyebrows. Her delicate face didn't have any flaws. Elder Han, I really didn't expect that the person who came this time would be you. Looking at the woman in front of him, Dongfang Tuying already knew that the main palace had started to pay attention to Longao after hearing about the mysterious flame. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sent Han Yin here. Others might not know about Han Yin's position in the main palace, but how could he not know? Palace Master Dongfang, according to the news you sent back, this Longao isn't only a rank 3 array master, he also has the 7th ranked Burning Heart Lotus. Is that true? So it was like that. Dongfang Tuying finally knew why there was no news from the main palace. It was because the main palace didn't believe his words. Otherwise, the main palace would have sent someone over long ago. Elder Han, Longao came to Black Rock City for less than a few months. But he had already successfully broken through from rank 2 array master to rank 3 array master. He wasn't surprised at all. Before Han Yin came, she already knew about Longao's matters. Her expression was a bit serious. What a troublesome matter. Of course, Dongfang Tuying knew what Elder Han meant. Longao is only passive. Nangong Chen and Nangong Fengfeng are really too much. They knew that Longao is a member of the Pill Palace, but they still attacked him. They are provoking the Pill Palace. How could Han Yin not know the meaning behind Dongfang Tuying's words? Where's Longao? Alas. With a heavy sigh, Dongfang Tuying recounted everything that had happened in detail. Let's go. He was pleasantly surprised. Although Han Yin was only an overgod, she represented the main hall. Let alone Nangong Chen, even Nangong Fengfeng did not dare to offend her casually. Provoking Han Yin was equivalent to provoking the main palace. Unless the two of them were out of their minds, they would never do such a thing. Ruins. Region Lord Nangong, long time no see. How have you been? Nangong Bao Feng was very angry, but he didn't dare to show it on his face. He smiled and said, Elder Han, I wonder why you came to my Blackstone Heavenly region? If there's anything that I can help you with, just let me know. If I can do it, I will not decline. Nangong Fengfeng and Han Yin obviously knew each other. Both of them had their own agenda. Han Yin did not want to waste any more time. She knew very well what it meant to the main palace if Longao really possessed a heavenly flame. She knew better than anyone else what it meant to the main palace. Even she did not have a heavenly flame. There were a total of 23 heavenly flames in the Chaos world. There were only a few people who could possess a heavenly flame. Especially the Burning Heart Lotus that was ranked 7th, it was a legendary existence. Han Yin could totally imagine that Longao would not only become a martial Dao expert if he continued to develop with the Burning Heart Lotus, but he could also become an alchemy grandmaster. Longao must be rescued. Even if it wasn't because of this, Longao could not die here. Otherwise, the Pill Palace would lose face. Region Lord Nangong, I came here mainly for Longao. I think there should be some misunderstanding between you and Longao. Let me be the mediator and let this matter end here. How about it? If it was Dongfang Tuying, Nangong Fengfeng would definitely not give him face. However, he had to give face to Han Yin. He had to let Han Yin represent the main palace. Rejecting Han Yin was equivalent to provoking the main palace. With the Blackstone Heavenly Region's strength, it was impossible for them to go against the Pill Palace. Could it be that they were going to let Longao go just like that? A master god had died here. Even Xia Pei had fallen here. They didn't even get what they wanted. If they were going to let Longao go so easily, they would be unwilling to do so. Han Yin didn't rush them. Instead, she said to the surroundings, Longao, you can come out now. Han Yin was also very surprised. A spatial divine item that even a peak expert couldn't break. Longao really had a lot of secrets. However, the more Longao behaved like this, the more the main palace valued him. Otherwise, the main palace wouldn't have sent her here. In the next second, Longao's figure instantly appeared. He smiled as he looked at the lady and Dongfang Tuying in front of him. He had already guessed that this lady was the master god sent by the main palace. It seemed like this matter would be settled soon. If nothing unexpected happened, Nangong Baofeng and Nangong Chen would definitely not continue to attack him. After all, no matter how strong the two of them were, they would not be able to contend against the Pill Hall. This was a fact without a doubt, unless the two of them wanted to die. One couldn't help but admit that the Pill Palace was indeed very strong. They didn't even send out a God King expert. If it was other forces, a Master God wouldn't be able to do anything. In the end, it was because of the Pill Palace's strong confidence. Even if it was a Master God, the Blackstone Heavenly Region's domain lord wouldn't dare to make a move. It's good to have a force. When can I establish such a strong force? As long as I casually send out someone, it would be enough to scare off an entire Heavenly Region. Even if it was just a low Heavenly Region's domain lord. I am Han Yin, from the Pill Palace's main palace. I am here specifically for your matter. Thank you for your help, Elder Han. Staring at the young man in front of him, Nangong Chen said coldly, even if Longao is from the Pill Palace, not only did he take away our things, he even killed one of our master gods. Does the Pill Palace want to protect him? Nangong Fengfeng didn't say anything. Even he wasn't willing to give up. If Longao really left the Blackstone Heavenly Region, the entire Primal Chaos family's 99 Heavenly Regions would be boundless. By then, where would they find Longao? Finding someone in the Primal Chaos world would be like finding a needle in a haystack. It was almost impossible. Chapter 29-24. Killed a Lord God. Han Yin didn't know much about the grudge between Longao and Nangong Baofeng. It was just that what made her feel inconceivable was that Longao was only a mid-level deity, yet he could actually kill a lord. It seemed a bit impossible. However, she knew that Nangong Chen had no reason to lie. It seemed like it was true. Elder Han, the reason why Brother Long could kill a Lord God was because of the strange flame. The Lord God ran into it himself. I see. Even if she did not have a heavenly flame herself, she knew how powerful it was. City Lord Nangong, we both know who was right and who was wrong. I don't want to pursue it anymore. Don't go overboard. Don't even think that the Pill Hall is easy to bully. Han Yin suddenly became tough. Not only Nangong Baofeng and Nangong Baofeng, even Dongfang Tuying was curious. He clenched his teeth. He couldn't fall out with the Pill Hall. It wouldn't benefit him at all. All right, we can let bygones be bygones. However, Longao, can you return the things you took from us? Things? Han Yin looked at Longao curiously. However, before Han Yin could say anything, Longao said, Nangong Chen, you really know how to joke. No matter what it is, I got it from Tong Dabao. It has nothing to do with you. If you say that, then all the treasures you have are mine. You really have water in your brain. Without waiting for Nangong Chen to speak, Longao continued, for a person like you to actually become the city lord of Black Rock City, it is truly a strange thing. Oh, I almost forgot. You have a good father. The Black Rock Heavenly Region is really a place where fathers matter. It's great to have such a father. Ridicule. It was a blatant ridicule. Both Han Yin and Dongfang Tuying were stunned. Longao's insults were completely provoking Nangong Chen. Even the main palace couldn't interfere. As expected. Nangong Chen was furious. He said with killing intent, Elder Han, Longao dares to provoke my Blackrock City. Does the Pill Hall want to provoke my City Lord Mansion? Provocation? Han Yin sneered with a look of indifference. Just now, I've already ordered all the branch palaces to leave Blackrock City. I'll say the same thing. You and I both know who's right and who's wrong in this matter. Don't think that everyone is a fool. Han Yin's meaning was very clear. She wanted to protect Longao. Dongfang Tuyin finally heaved a sigh of relief. He was afraid that Elder Han wouldn't dare to lend a helping hand. If that was the case, things would be very troublesome. Nangong Chen's expression changed again. For a moment, he really couldn't help but want to kill everyone before him. But reason suppressed the impulse. Nangong Chen knew very well that if he really did that, then no matter how powerful his father was, both of them would be hunted down by the Pill Hall. It wasn't worth it. Chen let's go. Longao, today's vengeance. I'll wait for you, Longao replied with a sneer before Nangong Chen could even finish his sentence. Arrogant. One couldn't help but admit that Longao was indeed extremely arrogant. But after thinking about it, the grudge between Longao and the other party had already reached the point where one of them had to die. Even if Longao didn't do that, Nangong Chen and Dongfang Tuyin wouldn't let it go so easily. Longao, you still have to be careful. Although the two of them are afraid of the pill hall and don't dare to deal with you openly, they'll still do it behind your back. Speaking until here, Han Yin didn't continue her sentence. But the meaning in her words was very clear. I understand. Dongfang Tuyin seemed to have thought of something and said, Elder Han, now that we've left Blackrock City, how should we deal with the branch palaces? I've already transferred the branch palaces to other cities. Although we didn't get along well with Nangong Fengyun this time, there's no need to go too far. The business of a heavenly region was too big. Even the pill hall couldn't bear to part with it. That's why they only left Blackrock City and didn't leave the entire Blackrock heavenly region. If they really did that, it would be a huge loss to the pill hall. As for Nangong Fengyun, of course, he didn't want the pill hall to leave the Blackrock heavenly region. He knew very well what it would mean to the Blackrock heavenly region if they did that. Elder Han, I wonder what the main palace's intention is. This was the key point. According to Dongfang Tuyin's idea, if Longao could leave for a period of time or enter the main palace directly, it would definitely be more beneficial for him. As for the matter of building a force, it wouldn't be too late to do it after Brother Long's strength increased. How could Han Yin not know Dongfang Tuyin's intention? After thinking for a while, Han Yin said helplessly, Dongfang Tuyin, to be honest, I don't know what the main palace's intention is. The order I received was to let Longao stay in Blackrock City temporarily. I'll also stay here for a period of time. As for the matters after that, we'll wait for the pill hall's next order. Ah! What was the pill hall's intention? Not to mention Dongfang Tuyin, even Longao didn't know what to do. Under normal circumstances, since the main palace already knew that he was not only a rank 3 Dan marking master, but also possessed the Burning Heart Lotus, they should have summoned him to the main palace. But what was the result? Not only did the main palace not have that intention, they even asked him to stay in Blackrock City. Could it be that the pill hall didn't know about the grudge between him and the Blackrock City? The pill hall must be doing this on purpose. If they didn't want to provoke the Blackrock City, they wouldn't have sent Han Yin over. Plus, Han Yin had such a tough attitude. What made him even more helpless was that the pill hall's intention was very clear. Not only did they want him to stay in the Blackrock heavenly region, even Han Yin had to stay with him. Bodyguard. Could it be that the pill hall wanted Han Yin to be his bodyguard? What Longao thought of, Dongfang Tuyin and Han Yin also thought of it. That was why Han Yin's face was filled with anger. She really couldn't understand. Even if Longao possessed the Burning Heart Lotus, the pill hall didn't have to do this. They actually asked her to be his bodyguard. How could she not be angry? Looking at Han Yin's angry face, Longao already knew that his guess was right. What was the pill hall's intention? Even he couldn't figure it out. Giving up didn't seem like giving up, valuing didn't seem like valuing. It was really a complicated and confusing thing. Elder Han, what should we do next? Dongfang Tuyin asked carefully. After all, Han Yin's position in the pill hall was much higher than his. Suppressing the anger in her heart, Han Yin said, let's find a place to stay first. Let's not go against the Blackrock City for now. Chapter 29-25. Moon City. It wasn't too far from Blackrock City, but it wasn't too close either. Moon City was the weakest city. The entire city didn't have more than a few 100,000 people. However, the city lord of Moon City, Shangguan Tianyi, was a high god. Dongfang Tuying and Shangguan Tianyi had a very good relationship. There was no need to say anything. Shangguan Tianyi had already given up the city lord position. Big brother Dongfang, isn't this a bit inappropriate? Brother Long, I know what you mean. To be honest, many years ago, Brother Shangguan already didn't want to continue being the city lord of Moon City. It was just that Nangong Baofeng didn't agree. So it was like that. Since that's the case, then I won't be polite. Longao liked this city very much. The first thing was to change Moon City to Dragon City and take a series of measures. Many people in Dragon City were very curious. Why did City Lord Shangguan resign from his position and replace him with a brat who was still wet behind the ears? Longao didn't say much. Actions were always more persuasive than words. As soon as Dragon City changed its name, Nangong Baofeng immediately announced to the entire Black Rock Heavenly region that he didn't recognize Longao as the City Lord of Dragon City. What did this mean? Everyone who received the news, no matter if they were from Dragon City or other cities, was shocked. Without the consent of the region lord, he became the City Lord and changed Moon City to Dragon City. He didn't put the region lord in his eyes at all. Nangong Baofeng was the war god of the entire Black Rock Heavenly region. He was a legendary figure. After Moon City changed its name, about 70% of the people chose to leave. In just a few days, a city with a few 100,000 people was left with less than 200,000 people. What kind of concept was this? Many people were afraid that the region lord would attack Longao. After all, Longao changed the name of the city and became the City Lord. He was challenging the region lord. He didn't care at all. Although Shangguan Tianyi had resigned, he didn't leave Dragon City. He stayed in Dragon City and became a consecrator. In the main hall, Dongfang Tuying saw that Longao wasn't anxious at all. He was very curious. Could it be that Brother Long was already confident? Brother Long, the current Dragon City can no longer be considered a town due to the sharp decline in population. At this point, Dongfang Tuying suddenly stopped talking because he didn't know what to say. How could Longao not know what Big Brother Dongfang meant? What should come will come, and what should go will go. You can't force it. What kind of answer was that? He sighed deeply. Dongfang Tuying was also very helpless. After all, the current Dragon City Lord was Longao, not him. Since Longao had already said so, what else could he say? At this moment, Han Yin, who had been silent all this while, suddenly snorted coldly, as if she was extremely dissatisfied. Elder Han, do you have something to say? Longao had a good impression of Han Yin. She was a classic example of someone who was tough on the outside but soft on the inside. If not for her fear of being killed by Nangong Fengyun, she would have left Dragon City long ago. Why would she continue to stay here? Longao, in order to help you obtain this town, Palace Master Dongfang put in a lot of effort. Yet, instead of managing it properly, you chose to sit here and wait. He really didn't know what to say. Could it be that he's really useless? Longao didn't care at all. Elder Han, Big Brother Dongfang, I know what you mean. Actually, even if we could solve this problem, I believe that no one would be willing to stay here. The biggest reason is that Nangong Fengyun doesn't recognize me as the Dragon City Lord. That was the key point. Dongfang Tuying and Han Yin didn't say anything. How could they not know the real reason? It was also the most troublesome thing. Even if the Pill Palace was powerful, they couldn't change the decision of a Heavenly Region's domain lord. Especially in the Blackstone Heavenly Region, Nangong Fengyun was the one who had the final say. Not to mention the two of them, even a divine king wouldn't be able to interfere. Even so, Han Yin still felt extremely helpless. Seeing that Longao didn't know anything, she felt a deep sense of anger. I'm preparing to set up a formation in Dragon City. It will take about a year. This way, even if something happens in the future, we'll be able to defend against it. Longao was clear about the current situation. It was very dangerous. Although Nangong Fengyun was afraid of the Pill Palace and wouldn't do anything to him for now, it didn't mean that he wouldn't do anything to him forever. If the Dragon City that he painstakingly built was destroyed in an instant, he would rather not set up the formation in the first place. However, he was still a third-grade formation master. The formation he set up wasn't able to trap a divine king. Hence, after thinking about it, he decided to set up a formation derived from the 9-revolution primal chaos formula. Although this formation was only a third-grade formation, it could be upgraded continuously in the future. It could even use a divine artifact to fight against a divine king. However, it was still unknown if he could set it up successfully. After telling his thoughts, Dongfang Tuying smiled and said, "Seems like you're already confident. We're the ones who are anxious. This matter shouldn't be rushed. Brother Long, I've already talked to Elder Han. She also agreed to let me join Dragon City." It was a pleasant surprise. However, Longao was very curious. Seems like Han Yin's position in the Pill Palace wasn't low. Otherwise, Big Brother Dongfang wouldn't join Dragon City just because of Han Yin's words. "Elder Han, I'm very curious. What's your position in the Pill Palace?" She was definitely not an ordinary elder. Longao was almost certain about this. Elder Han didn't answer. She stood up, yawned and walked out. He couldn't help but admit that Han Yin was indeed a peerless beauty. Even Dongfang Tuying couldn't help looking at Han Yin, who was leaving slowly. Big Brother Dongfang, Elder Han's identity? Longao's intuition told him that Han Yin's identity wasn't that simple. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to decide whether Big Brother Dongfang could join Dragon City with just a few words. It was complete nonsense. Dongfang Tuying smiled helplessly and said through his spiritual awareness, "Han Yin's father is the Pill Palace's palace master." Ah! Longao had already overestimated Han Yin's position in the Pill Palace. However, he didn't expect that Han Yin's position in the Pill Palace was so high. He knew clearly what Han Yin, the daughter of the Pill Palace's palace master, meant in the Pill Palace. No wonder Big Brother Dongfang could join Dragon City through Han Yin. He was very shocked. Seems like the Pill Palace valued him a lot this time. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sent Han Yin, such a talented girl. Thus, Longao also realized that Nangong Fengyun chose to back off because he was afraid of the Pill Palace's palace master behind Han Yin. Chapter 29-26. In the following period of time, Longao used all his strength to set up formations and used countless divine artifacts. Dongfang Tuying, as the palace master, was extremely wealthy. Longao was very grateful to Dongfang Tuying. After all, not everyone would help him so wholeheartedly. Cosmos City. Yi Han and 4 middle gods had died tragically. Even now, the culprit had yet to be found. The Yi family was like an angry lion, biting whoever they saw. Even the other 2 families, the Yi family was madly targeting them. The Yun family and the Ling family were helpless. In the end, they had no choice but to join forces to deal with the Yi family. You could say that. The current Cosmos City was in chaos. Once the Yi family was defeated, then from today onwards, there would no longer be 3 families in Cosmos City. Instead, there would be 2 families sharing the limelight. However, the Yi family's strength was not to be underestimated. Even if the 2 families joined forces, whether or not they could destroy the Yi family was still unknown. Just as they thought the Yi family would continue. Suddenly, the situation changed. The Yi family suddenly ceased all activities. No matter how the other 2 families provoked them, the Yi family acted as if they didn't see anything. Cosmos City once again regained its peace. It was as if nothing had happened before. Yun family. Within the main hall, Yun Long, Yun Yi, Yun Bo, and the others were all gathered in the main hall. All of them had solemn expressions. As for Yun Shi, she had a listless expression. From her perspective, losing Longao was the greatest loss for the Yun family in thousands of years. The Yi family suddenly ceased all activities. This is a little strange. Yun Yi, go investigate and see what the Yi family is up to. Yes. Yun Yi, of course, knew how serious this matter was. He immediately gave the order. At this moment, Cloud Dragon suddenly sighed deeply. He looked at Yun Shi, who was sitting below with a listless face. He helplessly said, "Yun Shi, Blackrock City suddenly sent news. It's about Longao." Longao? Grandfather, what's the news? Hearing the news about Longao, Yun Shi immediately became nervous. Longao's talent and potential is the most powerful I've ever seen. Now, not only is he a level 3 pill inscription master, he's also a level 3 formation master. He even killed an overgod. Ah! Is this true? Let alone Yun Shi, even Yun Yi and the others were shocked by her grandfather's words. They obviously knew what killing an overgod entailed. Level 3 Inscription Master? Level 3 Array Master? It was hard to imagine that one person could actually do two things at the same time. If her grandfather had not personally said it, Yunxi would definitely not believe that Brother Long was actually so heaven-defying. The more it was like this, the angrier Yunxi became. As if he could guess what Yunxi was thinking, Yunlong shook his head and said, "If I had to choose again, I still wouldn't fully support Longao. I wouldn't even recruit him." "Grandpa, why?" Yunxi was thoroughly enraged. There was no need to mention Longao's talent. Whether it was a level 3 alchemy inscription master or a level 3 array master, they were both lofty existences in Chenkuan City. Not to mention the Yun family, even the Blackrock City's city lord would lower himself to recruit him. Chenkuan City did not have a city lord. It had always been controlled by the three great clans. It could be said that in Chenkuan City, the three great clans were actually the city lords. This was something that Nangong Fengyun had allowed. Because of this, Yunxi really could not understand why her grandfather would do the same when Longao's talent was already so heaven-defying. Could it be that there was some enmity between her grandfather and Longao? That was a bit too much nonsense. Longao came from the vast starry sky. She knew this very well. Before this, Longao and her grandfather had never met. How could there be enmity between them? Could it be because of the Yi family? Although there was no concrete evidence, Yunxi was almost certain that the Yi family's Yi Han and four gods were definitely killed by Longao. Could it be that her grandfather was afraid that the Yi family would find out about this and cause harm to the clan? That did not seem to make sense. Now that the Yi family and the clan had completely fallen out, under normal circumstances, her grandfather would not continue to fear the Yi family. What was going on? She could not understand. She really could not understand. Not to mention Yunxi, even the others were extremely curious. After all, Longao's strength and talent were already there for all to see. On the other hand, Yunlong sighed and told her everything he knew. Longao's talent and potential are indeed great. However, he has offended the city lord of Blackrock City and the Nangong region lord. Even with the protection of the Pill Hall, do you think the Nangong region lord will let this matter go? So that was it. Yunxi sat on the chair. She finally understood what her grandfather meant. He was not afraid of the Yi family. He was afraid of the Blackrock City and the Nangong region lord. A peak divine king. Moreover, he was a legendary super divine king who had killed a beginner divine emperor. Longao had offended such a super expert. Even with the protection of the Pill Hall, it was imaginable what would happen to him. Yunxi could not understand why Longao would offend the Nangong region lord for no reason. "Grandfather, do you know why Longao offended the Blackrock City?" "It should be for some kind of treasure." "I don't know the exact reason. However, Longao has forcefully changed the Moon City into the Dragon City and became the #1 city lord of the Dragon City. The Nangong region lord immediately announced to the entire Blackrock region that he does not acknowledge Longao's identity as the city lord. The Nangong region lord's intention was clear. He had completely fallen out with Longao. If it wasn't for the protection of the Pill Hall, the Nangong region lord and the Blackrock City would have already taken action. "I want to go to the Dragon City." Yunxi stood up again. She did not know why, but she could not let go of Longao. After thinking for a few days, Yunxi knew that she had fallen in love with this young man who was much younger than her. However, age was not a problem in the chaotic world. Hence, she did not care about it. Cloud Dragon seemed to have guessed his precious granddaughter's thoughts. He said directly, "No. Yunyi, look after she. If she dares to take a step out of Chenkuan City, you will kill yourself here." Yunyi also knew her father's worries. After all, Longao offended the Blackrock City. If his daughter went there recklessly, she would definitely die. How could he let his daughter take the risk? Standing up, Yunyi said helplessly, "Yes, father." Yunxi was completely dumbfounded. He could ignore her life and death. No wonder he could ignore her father's life and death. If something happened to her father because of her, how could she face it? The Yun family will definitely regret it. Yunxi turned and ran out quickly. "Father, Cloud Dragon waved his hand. He knew what his son wanted to say very well. He said, "If Longao did not offend the Blackrock City, I am willing to give up everything. However, the current situation does not allow us to be impulsive. If the Blackrock City wants to do anything, we will definitely die." Chapter 29-27. The Blackrock City was like a colossus. It wasn't something that a small Yun family could contend against. Whether it was the Nangong Region Lord or the Blackrock City Lord, it was too easy for them to destroy the Yun family. How could Yun Yi not know what her father meant? She sighed deeply. Yun family. In the secret chamber. Ever since she received Xuanyuan's inheritance, Yun Qian had gone into seclusion to refine it. This sort of power inheritance was something that Shenyuan Bubai had used a secret technique to leave behind. Once Yun Qian refined it completely, even if she had the worst talent, she could still become a divine king. But Yun Qian's talent wasn't bad. In fact, she was extremely powerful. Otherwise, she wouldn't have received the full support of the family. But what made Yun Long and the rest curious was why Yun Qian went into seclusion the moment she returned to the family. Seclusion alone wouldn't have any effect. Could there be something fishy? Yun Long finally realized that something was wrong. But he didn't disturb Yun Qian's seclusion. Instead, he went to look for Yun Shi. Grandpa has something to ask you. I hope you can answer Grandpa truthfully. Yun Shi was still furious. But she was still a member of the Yun family. The old man in front of her was still her grandpa. No matter how unhappy she was, she couldn't do anything disrespectful. Did Qian receive Shenyuan Bubai's inheritance? Yun Shi's heart skipped a beat. Looking at her grandpa's expression, Yun Shi knew that her grandpa must have found out about the inheritance. Although it was well hidden, there were still loopholes. Since things had come to this, there was no point in continuing to hide it. Grandpa, Qian has received Shenyuan Bubai's inheritance. And all of this was given to Qian by Longao. Longao again. What's going on? Although he had guessed it, Yun Long couldn't help but get excited when he got the exact answer. His body even started to tremble slightly. Who was Shenyuan Bubai? He knew it better than anyone else. Shenyuan Bubai was a super expert in the chaotic world. A peak divine emperor who ruled the 99 heaven regions. With such an expert's inheritance, Qian would definitely become a divine emperor in the future. Divine emperor. Even the Blackstone region didn't have a divine emperor. If Qian could become a divine emperor, the Yun family would be the #1 family clan. How could he not be excited? How could Yun Shi not know what her grandpa was thinking? Since she had already spoken about the inheritance, Yun Shi did not continue to hide it. She gave a rough account of what had happened in the inheritance land. Longao not only obtained the Shenyuan sword and the 9 god-slaying swords, he even obtained the heart-burning flame lotus? That's right. As for why he doesn't want the inheritance, according to my guess, he wants Qian to break through to the godly emperor realm in the future. As for his talent, I don't need to tell you more. Cloud Dragon's expression changed again. It. Grandpa, are you not going to do anything? Grandpa knows what you mean. Don't you want such a genius to become one of us? How could he not want to? How could he not? Cloud Dragon wanted it more than anyone else. Reason. As the patriarch of the Yun family, he couldn't be impulsive. Otherwise, the Yun family wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. Grandpa, I believe you already know about the relationship between Longao and Qian. Do you think Qian won't have any complaints after becoming a divine emperor? It was a lie to say that she wouldn't have any complaints. Let's not talk about the feelings between the two of them, just the fact that Longao was able to give away the divine emperor's inheritance was something that no one else could do. Cloud Dragon asked himself, even if he had obtained the divine emperor's inheritance, he would not give it away, even if it was his own relatives. The temptation of becoming a divine emperor was too great. He heaved a deep sigh. The Yun family is just a small family. In the entire family, there is only one superior god, grandfather. However, the people that Longao offended could easily destroy us. Tell me, for one person, sacrificing the entire family, if you were the patriarch of the Yun family, What would you do? She was stunned after hearing her grandpa's words. She was too excited before and didn't think about it. As her grandpa said, there was only one high-level god in the Yun family. There were too many high-level gods in the Blackstone city. There were even several overgods, not including the domain chief's mansion. If that was the case, any one of them could easily destroy the Yun family. Don't meddle in politics when you're not in your position. As the patriarch of the Yun family, her grandpa must think about the interests of the Yun family before he did anything. His starting point and point of view were different from hers. Thinking of this, she didn't blame her grandpa anymore. Grandpa, I know your difficulties. However, please don't stop me from going to the Dragon City. I just want to help Longao, even if I have to die. This time, it was Yunlong who was surprised. He knew that his granddaughter liked Longao. However, he didn't expect that his granddaughter had such deep feelings for Longao. She didn't mind even if she had to sacrifice her life for him. Even if you go to the Dragon City now, you won't be able to help Longao at all. You might even be a burden to him. Think about the consequences if you're caught by the Blackstone City. Seeing that she didn't speak, Yunlong continued, Longao has the help of the Pill Hall now. Moreover, I've received news that the only granddaughter of the Pill Hall's Hall Master, Han Yin, has come to the Dragon City. Otherwise, do you think the Nangong Domain Chief and the Blackstone City would give up so easily? She wasn't surprised at all. After all, Longao was a rank 3 pill pattern master. His age was enough for the Pill Hall to pay attention to him. However, it was still unknown whether the Pill Hall would really fall out with Nangong Fengyun for Longao. No one could be sure about what would happen in the future. Grandpa, I'm really worried about Longao's safety. Since things had come to this, she didn't hide her feelings anymore. For so many years, other than cultivating, she had never fallen in love with any man. Longao was the first man who had moved her heart. She had to seize this opportunity. Otherwise, she wouldn't even have the chance to regret it if she missed it. How could Yunlong not know what Xie was thinking? He said helplessly, let's not act recklessly for now. Longao will definitely be fine. Now that the Dragon City needs to develop, we have to help Longao secretly. Do you understand? P.S. All 6 chapters have been delivered. Rest. Chapter 29-28. For a year. Dragon City's City Lord, Longao, didn't care about anything in Dragon City. No matter who it was, as long as they wanted to leave, no one would stop them. If there wasn't Blackrock City, perhaps not so many people would choose to leave. However, many people were very clear in their hearts. Longao had offended the City Lord of Blackrock City, and even the Domain Lord of Blackstone Heavenly Region. Even with the protection of the Pill Hall, he wouldn't have a good ending. In just a year, the population of Dragon City had decreased to 1%, less than 10,000 people. What did that mean? The current Dragon City wasn't even a town. After all, even the smallest town wouldn't have less than 10,000 people. Longao didn't care about that at all. In the hall, after a year of setting up the formation, he finally set up the 9 Revolution Chaos Formation. The 9 Revolution Chaos Formation was derived from the 9 Revolution Chaos Formula. Not only could it increase with his realm, it could even kill overgods and resist the might of a godly king. Although the formation was powerful, it consumed a lot of energy to set it up. Longao, you've advanced to a level 4 formation master? Yes. After setting up the 9 Revolution Chaos Formation, my formation level has advanced. I'm now a level 4 formation master. Ah! It was just a guess. Han Yin didn't expect Longao to really become a level 4 formation master. She knew better than anyone what a level 4 formation master meant. Once Longao was given enough time, even if Longao was still a mid-god, the formation he set up would still be able to kill an overgod warrior. It would not be difficult for him to even trap a god king. Not to mention Han Yin, even Dongfang Tu Ying, who was sitting at the side, was shocked to the extreme. His face was filled with disbelief. Brother Long, you've really become a level 4 formation master? She nodded helplessly. I won't lie to you about this. Longao also knew what a level 4 formation master meant. Even if his cultivation was only at the middle god level, now that he was a level 4 formation master, it wouldn't be impossible for him to kill a godly king. As for whether he could use the formation to kill a godly king, it seemed unlikely. If he could reach the pinnacle of level 4 formation master, he would be confident. Han Yin shook her head helplessly. Your talent is the most terrifying I have ever seen. A 3rd rank pill inscription master and a 4th rank formation master. If it weren't for the fact that your cultivation level is only that of a god, I'm afraid, he sighed deeply. Of course, Dongfang Tuying knew what Elder Han meant. If Brother Long wasn't a mid-god, but a main god, then it would be an entirely different matter. The difference between a god and a sovereign was simply too great. Longao didn't care at all. Big Brother Dongfang, how long will it take for you to advance to the 4th level? He didn't know why Longao asked him this question out of the blue. Brother Long, if nothing unexpected happens, I'll be able to smoothly advance to a 4th level pill inscription master within 3 years. Hearing Dongfang Tuying's words, Han Yin was once again deeply shocked. She didn't know anything about Dongfang Tuying. She thought that Dongfang Tuying would need several hundred years to become a level 4 pill inscription master. Han Yin was very clear about the difference between a level 3 and level 4 pill inscription master. But one had to know. Han Yin was only a level 3 pill inscription master. Who knew how long it would take for her to become a level 4 pill inscription master? Big Brother Dongfang, it seems I'll have to be 1 step ahead of you. 1 step ahead of me? What did that mean? Neither Dongfang Tuying nor Han Yin were able to react. This was because the two of them had never imagined that Longao would be able to advance from a level 3 pill inscription master to a level 4 pill inscription master in a short year. The two of them were both level 3 pill inscription masters. Naturally, they knew how difficult it was to advance from a level 3 pill inscription master to a level 4 pill inscription master. Ah! Longao, are you saying that you are about to break through to become a level 4 pill inscription master? The two of them were completely stupefied. They had seen monstrously talented people, but they had never seen someone with such monstrous talent. Once Longao became a level 4 pill inscription master, then he would become a level 4 formation master as well. Just thinking about it was terrifying. In addition, given Longao's age, his talent and potential was most likely unprecedented. They nodded helplessly. This time, when I was setting up the 9 Revolution Chaos formation, I was also continuously verifying level 4 pill inscription. Not long ago, I had already successfully concocted a level 4 pill. It's just that I have yet to obtain the level 4 pill inscription certification. Half-step level 4 pill inscription master. Even if he could concoct a level 4 pill, without obtaining the Heaven and Earth pill inscription certification, he would not be considered a level 4 pill inscription master. However, the two of them could almost guarantee that Longao could obtain the Heaven and Earth pill inscription certification in a matter of minutes. They were completely shocked. Brother Long, as if he wanted to say something, Dongfang Tuying realized that he was unable to describe Longao's heaven-defying nature. He shook his head helplessly. He did not know whether it was right or wrong for the Black Rock City to provoke Longao. Han Yin finally knew why her father asked her to come here personally. It seemed like the Pill Hall valued Longao a lot more than she had imagined. However, after thinking about it, she understood. Longao's talent was there for all to see. Moreover, Longao also had the heart-burning flame lotus. As long as one was not an idiot, they would be able to guess that the future Longao would not be simple. As for the fact that Longao possessed 2 heavenly flames, Han Yin did not know about it. Dongfang Tuying also did not say it out loud. Otherwise, who knows what Han Yin and the Pill Hall would think. If it was some other heavenly flame, Longao and Dongfang Tuying might have told Han Yin about it. After helping her for a year, Longao realized that Han Yin was a good person. However, the primal chaos flame was too shocking. Even Han Yin would not reveal it casually. 23 types of heavenly flames. Each of them was incomparably powerful. Among them, only the primal chaos flame existed in legends. No one had ever seen it before. Longao was almost certain that if the news of him possessing the heart-burning flame lotus were to spread out, there would definitely be people who would try to snatch it away. However, it would not cause a commotion in the chaos world. However, once the primal chaos flame that was ranked first appeared, it would definitely shock the 99 heavens of the chaos world. At that time, countless people would come to snatch it away. Not to mention divine kings, even peak divine emperors would come. Longao was very confident in his formation. However, facing a divine emperor expert, there was nothing he could do. This was the difference between a divine king and a divine emperor. This was also the temptation of the primal chaos flame. I will report your situation to the pill hall later. If there are no accidents, the pill hall will definitely take action. At that time, even Nangong Fengfeng would not dare to deal with you. Han Yin was very confident. A rank 4 pill inscription master with unlimited potential and a rank 4 formation master, unless the pill hall was crazy. Chapter 29-29. Longao didn't mind at all. It wasn't up to Han Yin to decide whether the pill hall would help him or not, even though her position in the pill hall wasn't low. As if she could guess what Longao was thinking, Han Yin smiled and said, "Longao, don't worry. My father values you a lot. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come here." "I understand. Longao, what are you going to do next?" "Develop Dragon City." "Develop Dragon City?" If it was that easy, it wouldn't have become like this in the past year. The current Dragon City wasn't a city anymore. "Brother Long, what do you want?" Dongfang Tu Ying was also very concerned about the development of Dragon City. After all, he wasn't only the Pill Hall's Hall Master now, he had also joined Dragon City. "Open the Pill Hall." "No." Han Yin didn't even think about it and rejected. It was just a joke. Of course, she knew why Longao wanted to open the Pill Hall. If that was the case, why would the Pill Hall continue to support Longao? Not to mention Han Yin, even Dongfang Tu Ying was a little surprised. He didn't expect Brother Long to do that. "Sister Han, don't be impatient. Even if I reopen the Pill Hall, I'm still a member of the Pill Hall. There's no conflict. I believe that even the Hall Master wouldn't object to it. I can't make the decision. Sister Han, please report this matter to the Pill Hall." Looking at the confident Longao, Han Yin knew that if nothing unexpected happened, her father would definitely agree. The current Longao wasn't the same as before. Not only was he a 4th level formation master, but he was also about to become a 4th level pill inscription master. He even possessed a strange flame. Unless the Pill Hall wanted to give up on Longao, they wouldn't reject it. Days passed. Longao started to build the Pill Hall in Dragon City while waiting for Han Yin's news. He was very confident that the Pill Hall would definitely agree to his request. As expected. 3 days later, Han Yin brought the news of the Pill Hall. Longao could build his own Pill Hall, but he would still be a member of the Pill Hall. However, the Pill Hall he built wouldn't be called Pill Hall. He didn't care. If the one he established was also called the Pill Hall, then there wouldn't be much meaning. Pill Pavilion. The Pill Palace that Longao built was named the Pill Pavilion. In order to attract more people to the Pill Pavilion, Longao didn't hesitate to spend hundreds of millions of crystal stones to build the Pill Pavilion. It was tens of thousands of square meters in size. At first glance, it looked like a huge monster standing at the center of Dragon City. Have you heard? Dragon City has built a huge pill pavilion. They sell level 4 pills and below, including level 4 pills. It's even cheaper than the Pill Hall. I've heard about it. However, City Lord Longao has offended the Nangong Region Lord and the Blackrock City Lord. I'm afraid, I want to take a look. I can't afford the level 3 pills of the Pill Hall. I want to go too. Discussions about Dragon City and Dan Pavilion could be heard everywhere in the Blackstone Heavenly region. Longao's idea was simple. At the beginning, he would definitely lower the price of the pills. At least, it couldn't be compared with the Pill Hall's pills. The Pill Hall Lord had already agreed to this. The Pill Hall's business was spread across the 99 heavenly regions. They sold pills in almost every city. Longao promised that there would only be one pill pavilion. That was the Pill Pavilion in Dragon City. This was also the reason why the Pill Hall Lord allowed Longao to open a pill pavilion. Because if the Pill Hall opened, Longao would only open a pill pavilion in Dragon City. It wouldn't affect the pill hall at all. Not only that, the pills that Longao sold were basically the pills that he and Dongfang Tuying refined personally. They were 100% effective. The pill hall had a huge business. It was normal for them to sell pills refined by ordinary alchemists. However, the pill pavilion couldn't do that. Longao could almost say that if the pill pavilion also sold pills refined by ordinary alchemists, they wouldn't even need to open for business. They could just close down. At the beginning, no one dared to enter the pill pavilion to buy pills. After all, there was a warning from the Blackstone City. No one dared to challenge the prestige of the Blackstone City. However, in the chaotic realm, there were many desperados. They didn't care about the Blackstone City. As long as they had good pills and could afford it, they wouldn't care about anything else. Gradually, more and more people entered Dragon City's pill pavilion to buy pills. With the first, there would be the second, the third, and even the fourth, and the fifth. Just like what the pill pavilion promised, their pills were not only 100% effective, but their prices were also much lower than the pill hall. In just 1 month's time, Dragon City, which had been in decline, suddenly regained its vitality. More and more people entered Dragon City, and even the other shops were rented out. Dragon City was back on the right track. Of course, the Blackstone City wouldn't let Longao off easily. With the protection of the pill hall, the Blackstone City couldn't do anything to Longao. Something was wrong. The Blackstone City couldn't do anything secretly. The Blackstone City's method was very simple. They just found strangers to cause trouble in the pill pavilion. They even used fake pills. As long as they could destroy the pill pavilion. And the result? Longao had already guessed that the Blackstone City would do this. So, he set a trap. Whoever came would die. In the end, no one dared to cause trouble anymore. As for the Blackstone City, they chose to give up. 3 months later, Dongfang Tuying said helplessly, "Brother Long, with just the two of us, even if our pill refining speed is very fast, we can't afford to buy so many pills." Of course, Dongfang Tuying hoped that Dragon City would become more prosperous and stronger. However, with only the two of them refining pills, the supply was really insufficient. If this continued, it would be impossible for the pill pavilion to continue growing. Longao smiled. He didn't care about this at all. He said, "Big brother Dongfang, these problems aren't problems at all. I forgot to tell you something. My pill refining speed can be increased by 10 times. 10 times? What kind of concept was that?" Dongfang Tuying was very clear that if Longao's pill refining speed could be increased by 10 times, then with the strength of a rank 4 pill inscription master, it would be a terrifying thing. However, what made him curious was how Longao could increase his pill refining speed by more than 10 times. It seemed like something impossible. "Big brother Dongfang, you have seen my spatial divine item. To be honest, just last night, I suddenly discovered that my spatial divine item had a divine ability. I just mastered it, so I can only increase it by 10 times. However, as my strength continues to increase, I believe that not to mention 10 times, even 20 times or 30 times wouldn't be a problem." "What do you mean?" Dongfang Tuying was very curious. He didn't know what Longao meant. Could it be that the spatial divine item could increase the pill refining speed? Chapter 29:30. The time difference between my spatial artifact and the outside world is 10 to 1. Ah! Dongfang Tuying wasn't an idiot. He instantly understood the meaning behind Longao's words. There was such a heaven-defying spatial artifact. "Brother Long, you must not reveal that you have such a heaven-defying spatial artifact. Otherwise, there will be endless trouble." "I understand." Longao was extremely shocked by this. If he hadn't confirmed it multiple times, even he wouldn't have dared to believe that this was true. A 10 to 1 ratio. What did this mean? In other words, training in the Primal Chaos Palace for 10 years was equivalent to training in the outside world for a year. Longao and Dongfang Tuying entered the Primal Chaos Palace and began to refine pills. Dongfang Tuying could only stay for a day, but Longao could stay for an indefinite period of time. 10 full years was only equivalent to a year outside. Longao had not only completely stabilized as a 4th rank formation master, he had also become a 4th rank pill inscriptionist. Not only was there no hindrance at all, but his improvement was even faster than before. Not only that, Longao's cultivation had also broken through from the early stage of the god level to the peak of the god level. He was only one step away from officially becoming a high god. To break through to the high god level, one had to comprehend their own Jindan domain from the Jindan in their body. It could be said like this. Without breaking through to the high god level, there was no way to have a Jindan domain. But the result? Longao had only just broken through to the peak of the god level, but he had already comprehended his own Jindan domain from the Jindan in his body, and had even fused it with his divine sense. In other words, his divine sense domain. What was going on? As though he had thought of something, Longao immediately began to verify his thoughts. Divine sense nirvana. By relying on divine sense nirvana, Longao, after breaking through to the peak of the god level, not only had his own domain, he had even formed a unique divine sense domain. There was no need to ask how powerful a divine sense domain was. Longao knew 10,000 times better than anyone else. In his heart, he was extremely excited. The primal chaos 9 axes had a total of 9 killing moves. Longao had already cultivated the first 4 killing moves. They were the first axe, Devour Hell, the second axe, Devour the Heavens, the third axe, Absolute Annihilation, and the fourth axe, Annihilation of Divine Sense. He had thought that he would have to wait a while before he could train in the fifth axe. At the very least, he would have to break through to become a high god. But in the end, what Longao didn't expect was that he had already comprehended the fifth axe of the primal chaos 9 axes when he had just broken through to the peak of the mid-level deity stage. Under normal circumstances, even though he had obtained the primal chaos 9 axes, if he wanted to cultivate it, he had to constantly verify and cultivate it. However, regardless of whether he cultivated the primal chaos 9 axes or other martial skills, success seemed to follow naturally. What was going on? He couldn't figure it out. He really couldn't figure it out. It was a very strange thing. The fifth axe of the Chaos 9 axes was used to imprison the primordial spirit. Even if he did not use the Chaos axe, this move was extremely overpowered. This was because although Longao's cultivation level was only at the pinnacle of a middle god, his primordial spirit was comparable to a pinnacle of a higher god. Just think about it. Longao was battling against a pinnacle higher god. He had caught his opponent off guard and suddenly used his primordial spirit domain, and even began to confine his primordial spirit. One could imagine what the result would be. Having obtained such a divine ability, how could Longao not be excited? And this was only the fifth axe of the primal chaos 9 axes. It was hard to imagine how overpowered the sixth axe, the seventh axe, the eighth axe, and even the ninth axe would be. Aside from that, Longao was still filled with anticipation for the 9 revolutions primal chaos mantra. This was because, even now, he was still stuck at the 6th revolution, unable to break through to the 7th revolution. The first 6 revolutions of the 9 revolutions primal chaos mantra were the first revolution, Samsara not entering the Yellow Springs. The second revolution, Samsara teleportation. The third revolution, Samsara clone. The fourth revolution, Samsara heavenly eye. The fifth revolution, Samsara shattering the starry skies. The sixth revolution, Samsara controlling the starry skies. The first 6 revolutions of the 9 revolutions primal chaos mantra were definitely heaven-defying existences in the vast starry skies. Just shattering the starry skies and controlling the starry skies were enough to allow one to roam the vast starry skies. But to the primal chaos realm, these were completely useless. The last 7 revolutions were the key. Longao knew very well that the last 7 revolutions of the 9 revolutions primal chaos mantra would definitely give him a foothold in the primal chaos realm. Only, the current situation, forget about the 8th revolution and the 9th revolution, he couldn't even break through to the 7th revolution. He felt very helpless. After Longao had left the primal chaos palace, Dongfang Tuying and Han Yin had hurriedly sought him out. But before the two of them had even spoken, they had already looked at the youth in front of them in astonishment. A pinnacle god. In a single year, he had broken through from a beginner god to a pinnacle god. This sort of training speed was truly unbelievable. Han Yin didn't know, but Dongfang Tuying seemed to have guessed something. A 10-to-1 ratio. Longao had entered the spatial artifact to train. 1 year outside was 10 years inside. 10 years to break through from a beginner god to a pinnacle god. Even so, this sort of talent wasn't something that others could compare with. Longao just smiled. He didn't say much about his training. The secrets of the Primal Chaos Palace definitely couldn't be leaked. His intuition told him that the Primal Chaos Palace he possessed was definitely not simple. A spatial artifact that could nurture primal chaos flames for him. Just thinking about it, one could imagine what this meant. In addition, the current Primal Chaos Palace had a 10-to-1 time ratio. Not only that, Longao had a feeling that as his strength continued to increase, the time ratio in the Primal Chaos Palace would continue to increase. At that time, let alone 10-to-1, even 100-to-1 or 1,000-to-1 wouldn't be impossible. Thinking of this, Longao was extremely excited. Big brother Dongfang, big sister Han, is there something you need from me? Right. According to the news I just received, for some unknown reason, Nangong Baofeng has already left the Blackstone Heavenly region. He took all of the sovereigns with him. Right now, the only ones left in Blackstone City are Nangong Chen and the High Gods. Big brother Dongfang, you don't mean that you want me to go to Blackstone City and kill Nangong Chen, right? Even if he was already a 4th-tier formation master, as long as he had enough time to set up a 4th-tier formation, he could still kill Nangong Chen. However, the consequence of doing so would be to fight Nangong Fengeng to the death. If that was really the case, Longao could completely imagine that even if he had the protection of the Pill Hall, Nangong Fengeng wouldn't let him go. At that time, he could imagine the consequences. How could the two of them not know what Longao was thinking? Dongfang Tuying smiled helplessly and said, "Of course I didn't mean that. Unless your cultivation can reach the God Emperor realm, it's best not to take the initiative to provoke Nangong Fengeng." Chapter 2931. Brother Dongfang, what do you mean? Han Yin didn't seem to like wasting time. She immediately said, Brother Dongfang's meaning is very simple. Since Nangong Fengyun is not here and has taken away all the overgods, you can go to Blackrock City. Longao wasn't a fool. He immediately understood what they meant. No problem. Establishing dominance. Longao and the other two immediately left Dragon City and headed towards Blackrock City. Blackrock City was the core city of the Blackrock Heavenly region. Not only was the city lord Nangong Chen here, but also the domain lord's manor. No one dared to behave atrociously in Blackrock City. Look, isn't that Longao? Yes. Other than Longao, Palace Lord Dongfang is also with him. There's also a overgod from the Pill Hall. Where did he come from? No wonder he dares to enter Blackrock City with 2 overgods. The others didn't know that Nangong Fengyun had left Blackrock City. In their opinion, since Longao had offended the Domain Lord's manor and the City Lord's manor, he wouldn't dare to enter Blackrock City casually even if he was given 10,000 guts. But the result? Not only did he enter the city, he even swaggered in. It was a provocation. Not only was he provoking the City Lord's manor, but he was also provoking the Domain Lord's manor. HMPH, Longao is relying on the support of the Pill Hall. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to enter Blackrock City. He's just courting death. That's because he's capable. Others wouldn't be able to do that. That was indeed the case. The Pill Hall wouldn't casually show their support. Those who said that the grapes were sour because they couldn't eat them were completely envious and jealous. The City Lord's manor received the news as soon as the 3 of them entered Blackrock City. Nangong Chen brought dozens of superior gods and stopped the 3 of them. He sneered and said, Blackrock City has issued an order. Longao is not allowed to enter Blackrock City without permission. Those who disobey will be killed without mercy. Han Yin was instantly angered and said, Nangong Chen, what do you mean by this? Although he was afraid of the Pill Hall, Nangong Chen didn't give in to Han Yin and Dongfang Tuying. No matter what, He was still the city lord of Blackrock City. There were some things that he could not back down on. Otherwise, Blackrock City would lose face. Elder Han, there are some things that you and I are well aware of. There's no need to say it out loud. Without waiting for Han Yin to speak, Nangong Chen looked at Longao and said, "Consider yourself lucky to be able to find a backer like the Pill Hall. However, I want to tell you, don't be happy too early." He sneered in his heart. Longao didn't care at all. After stopping Han Yin, Longao smiled and said, "We came here this time to take a look around. Since the city lord does not welcome us, we will take our leave." Longao. "Sister Han, let's go." Seeing that Longao had already turned to leave, Han Yin stomped her feet and followed after him. He left Blackrock City. "Longao, are you scared?" "Sister Han, do you think I'm scared?" He was stunned for a moment. Han Yin knew Longao's character very well. If he was scared of the City Lord Mansion, he wouldn't have done that. Since that's the case, why did Longao do that? "Sister Han, we don't have to fight him head-on. According to the news I received, the City Lord Mansion seems to have something good. You want to go to the City Lord Mansion?" Hearing that Longao wanted to go to the City Lord Mansion, not only Han Yin, even Dongfang Tuying was shocked. They didn't know what Brother Long wanted to do. Even if Nangong Fengyun took away all the overgods in Blackrock City, Nangong Chen was still a overgod. He and Han Yin couldn't go there yet. If Blackrock City knew that the Pill Hall was provoking them, it wouldn't be good. "Since Nangong Fengyun isn't here, I'll go to the City Lord Mansion to get something good." The two wanted to say something, but Longao waved his hand and said with a smile, "Brother Dongfang, Sister Han, we have to put on a show together. We can't let others know that I went to Blackrock City or the City Lord Mansion. When Nangong Fengyun comes back in the future, he and Nangong Chen wouldn't know that it was me." "What are we going to do?" "Very simple. Concoct pills." When the three of them returned to Dragon City, they didn't return to the City Lord Mansion. Instead, they went to the Pill Pavilion. "Everyone, to thank you for coming to Dragon City for your support, I've decided to concoct pills with Brother Dongfang at a low price. It's from level 1 to level 4. Those who want to concoct pills, please prepare your crystal stones. City Lord Long, are you going to concoct pills on the spot?" "That's right. If there's any pill engraving masters who want to join the Pill Pavilion, I'll still welcome them. I'll even help them increase the level of their pill engraving." Even so, no one dared to casually join the Pill Pavilion. Joining Dragon City and joining the Pill Pavilion were two different things. If Blackrock City knew about this, it was easy to imagine what the result would be. Longao already guessed that this would be the result, so he didn't care. "Let's start." When Longao and the two of them entered the Pill Pavilion, they immediately started concocting pills. Everyone was extremely happy because the fact that City Lord Long was a level 4 pill engraving master was no longer a secret. Even Palace Master Dongfang was a level 3 pill engraving master. A level 3 pill engraving master and a level 4 pill engraving master. Moreover, they were both concocting pills at a low price. This kind of thing didn't happen every day. In just half an hour, a long line of people had formed outside the Pill Pavilion. At a glance, there were at least a few thousand people. "Brother Dongfang, you can start concocting pills here. As for these level 4 pills, as long as you take them out every once in a while, no one will suspect you. Be careful." "I will." Dongfang Tuyin was only a level 3 pill engraving master. It was impossible for him to concoct level 4 pills. Longao had already thought about this. As long as he took out a level 4 pill every 2 hours, no one would suspect him. After all, there were only 2 alchemists in the entire Pill Pavilion. One was a level 3 pill engraving master, and the other was a level 4 pill engraving master. "Longao, I know that you have some secrets. However, I want to tell you that the City Lord Mansion of Blackrock City is definitely not simple." Before Han Yin could finish her words, Longao suddenly smiled and said, "Sister Han, who told you that I'm going to Blackrock City? Didn't you say that you were going to Blackrock City?" Longao shook his head and said with a smile, "Nangong Chen is in charge of Blackrock City. I won't go there casually. With my current strength, I haven't reached the stage where I can fall out with Nangong Chen. This time, I'm going to the Domain Master's mansion to have a look. Dongfang Tu Yin and Han Yin immediately understood Longao's intention. After all, there was no overgod in the Domain Master's mansion. Even Nangong Fengyun wasn't there. There was only a high god in charge. This was indeed a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Chapter 2932. Longao, tell me, what do you want from the Domain Chief's mansion? Not only Han Yin, but even Dongfang Tu Ying was curious as to why Longao wanted to go to the Domain Chief's mansion. Longao would not have said much if it were someone else. But to the two of them, Longao did not hide anything and said with a smile, I've heard that the Domain Chief's mansion seems to have a 10,000 years fire lotus. Before Longao could continue, the two of them already knew what he meant. They were extremely shocked. Brother Long, you want to devour the 10,000 years fire lotus to upgrade it? That's right. Every kind of exotic flame was extremely overbearing, but it was very difficult to upgrade it. It was impossible to upgrade it through normal means. The 10,000 years fire lotus was the best way to upgrade it. Everyone knew that the Domain Chief's mansion had a 10,000 years fire lotus. Nangong Fengyun set up the City Lord's mansion there because there was a 10,000 years fire lotus there. It was crazy. The two of them stared at the young man in front of them. They had never thought that Longao would be so crazy. They were not fools. Of course, they knew what it meant to covet the 10,000 years fire lotus. They sighed deeply. Brother Long, the 10,000 years fire lotus needs countless years to mature. I'm sure that the 10,000 years fire lotus in the Domain Chief's mansion has not matured yet. Otherwise, Nangong Fengyun would have used it. He also needs the 10,000 years fire lotus. That's right. According to the rumors, Nangong Fengyun is waiting for the 10,000 years fire lotus to mature so that he can ask a weapon refiner to make a weapon for him. It was obvious what a treasure made from the 10,000 years fire lotus was. I'll leave first. Longao knew what the two of them meant. However, he had to devour the 10,000 years fire lotus. His burning heart lotus had to be upgraded. Otherwise, it would be almost impossible for him to become a level 5 alchemist. Brother Dongfang, what do you mean? Brother Long has completely fallen out with the Domain Chief's mansion. Even if you don't go, Nangong Fengyun will never let you go. Dongfang Tu Ying's meaning was clear. How could Han Yin not know? If Nangong Fenghao knows about this, I'm afraid that even if our pill hall takes action, Nangong Fenghao won't continue to hold back. The two of them naturally knew what the 10,000 years fire lotus meant to Nangong Fengyun. Back then, there was a beginner godly emperor who wanted to snatch the 10,000 year flame lotus, and Nangong Fengyun fought him. That battle was earth-shattering. In the end, Nangong Fengyun killed the junior divine emperor. Not only did he protect the 10,000 years fire lotus, but he also became famous in the primal chaos world. One could imagine. This time, Brother Long went to the Domain Master's mansion secretly. No one knows about it. Even if Nangong Fengfeng is suspicious, he won't fall out with the pill hall until he has concrete evidence. I hope so. The two of them did not concoct any pills. After all, they had already prepared a lot of pills, including the level 4 pills that Longao had already concocted. Blackrock City. City Lord's mansion, inside the main hall. Nangong Chen's face was gloomy. It was as ugly as it could get. Longao brought the two of them into the Blackrock City openly. It was a provocation to the Blackrock City. Not only that, he just received news that Longao and Dongfang Tu Ying had started to concoct pills and sell them at the lowest price. What was the meaning of this? Nangong Chen knew clearly that Longao did this to increase the reputation of the Elixir Pavilion. Originally, he wanted to suppress Dragon City. However, he did not expect Dragon City to develop to such an extent in just 1 year. In the end, it was all because of the Pill Hall's interference. The Pill Hall actually asked Dongfang Tu Ying to help Longao and let Longao rebuild the Elixir Pavilion. If he did not see it with his own eyes, he would not believe it. What made Nangong Fenghao angry the most was, Longao was not only an Elixir Inscription Master, but he was also a level 4 Elixir Inscription Master. He knew clearly what a level 4 elixir inscription master meant. No wonder Dragon City could develop in just 1 year. If it was not because of his grudge, he would have asked a level 4 elixir inscription master to concoct pills for him. A level 4 elixir inscription master concocted a level 4 elixir inscription master. If he were to buy it from the pill hall, he would need a huge amount of crystal stones. Anger, endless anger. However, Nangong Chen forcefully suppressed the anger in his body. He knew clearly that as long as the pill hall continued to interfere in this matter, not to mention him, even his father would not be able to deal with Longao. A level 4 elixir inscription master who had 2 mysterious flames. As long as the pill hall was not stupid, they would definitely protect him with all their might. What made Nangong Chen feel the most was that as early as a year ago, he had already spread the news that Longao possessed 2 heavenly flames. Unfortunately, with the guarantee of Hanyin and Dongfang Tu Ying, no one would believe it. Even he would not believe that a person had 2 mysterious flames. However, Longao did not hide the fact that he had 1 mysterious flame. Longao openly admitted it. Even so, no one dared to enter Dragon City to snatch it. The reason was simple. Longao had the support of the pill hall. Men. City Lord, please give your orders. Go to the Zonglong Sky region and find Du Lei and He Zhongtian. Ask them about Longao's background. This lower god was very curious. Previously, when the 2 overgods stayed in the City Lord's mansion, the City Lord seemed to have already asked about Longao's identity. At that time, the 2 overgods said that they did not know. Now that they were going to the Zonglong Sky region, they did not seem to have any objections. However, this lower god did not dare to say any more nonsense and immediately left. Du Lei, He Zhongtian, if I find out that you have lied to me, I will kill you even if you are from the Zonglong Sky region. The Zonglong Sky region was a middle sky region. Its level was above the Blackstone Sky region. However, Nangong Chen was not worried at all. After all, his father was the domain lord of the Blackstone Sky region. He was even a peak divine king expert who had killed a divine emperor. Nangong Chen's intuition told him that the 2 of them must be hiding something. It was impossible for them not to know Longao's identity. Actually, Nangong Chen was wrong. Not to mention, even Du Lei and He Zhongtian wanted to know Longao's true identity. However, in the entire Chaos Realm, other than Yun Shi and the others, there was probably no one who knew about Longao's identity. He was actually teleported from the starry sky. Moreover, it had only been a few years. If others wanted to go to the Zonglong Sky region from the Blackstone Sky region, not to mention other things, just the amount of crystal stones required was an unimaginable price. However, to the City Lord's mansion, it was a piece of cake. To be on the safe side, Nangong Chen sent a total of 6 upper gods to the Zonglong Sky region. Moreover, they showed enough sincerity, hoping to obtain specific information about Longao. Chapter 2933. Longao, who had just secretly prepared to enter Blackrock City. Suddenly, he saw 6 high gods leave Blackrock City at high speed. He was very curious. But Longao didn't let go of this extremely rare opportunity. After all, he was already irreconcilable with Blackrock City. Killing 6 high gods would cause Blackrock City to feel some pain and heartache. If this was in the past, he definitely wouldn't be a match for a high god. But now, the situation was completely different. He had already broken through to the peak of the god level, and was now a formation master of the 4th rank. The current him, if he wanted to kill a high god, it wouldn't be too hard. Longao didn't immediately attack. Nobody would know. After following them for 2 full hours, after confirming that there was no one nearby, Longao immediately sped up, setting up a simple formation of the 4th rank in front of the 6. You are Longao? The 6 had all seen Longao before. Only, what they couldn't understand was why Longao was blocking their path. Could it be that Longao didn't know that Blackrock City had already listed him as a person who must be killed? Anyone who saw him would be killed without question. Especially at a time like this. Exactly. Haha, the heavens are helping us. Help my ass. Before the man had even finished speaking, Longao's Shenyuan sword had already chopped viciously towards the 6 of them. The opponent actually dared to attack first. The faces of the 6 instantly changed, and they were all incomparably furious. The 6 of them were high gods, while the opponent was only a god. To fight against the 6 of them was like a fool's dream. It was impossible. Not to mention that the 6 of them joined hands. Even if any one of them came out casually, he could easily destroy Longao. 1 against 6. Longao had just mastered the 5th axe of primordial chaos. He wanted to test out how powerful this killing blow of his was, exactly. Just as the 6 of them thought that they would be able to easily annihilate Longao, suddenly, the situation changed. Longao's body suddenly released a ripple of energy. The 6 of them felt as though they had fallen into a swamp. Jindan domain? This is a Jindan domain. How can a god have a Jindan domain? Originally, the 6 of them did not intend to use their golden core domain. After all, the 6 of them joining forces to deal with a mid-god was a disgraceful thing in itself. If they were to layer their golden core domain on top of that, even they would despise themselves, let alone others. But what was the result? Even if the 6 of them were beaten to death, they still wouldn't have imagined that a god would be able to comprehend a Jindan domain. What kind of concept was that? The 6 of them knew better than anyone else what it meant for a mid-level deity to comprehend a golden core domain. Not daring to hesitate any longer, the 6 of them immediately released their own Jindan realm, which was stacked on top of each other. It wasn't that there weren't any gods who could create a Jindan domain. However, every single person who was able to create a Jindan domain at the god level was an absolute genius. The reason why high gods were able to absolutely suppress gods was because of their Jindan domain. Lad, you are indeed a godly prodigy. But, to think that you can rely on the Jindan realm to kill us? Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. 6 high gods represented 6 Jindan domains stacked on top of each other. One of them had to have reached the peak of the high god level and had already mastered 10% of the Jindan domain. Low-level high gods had mastered 30% of the Jindan domain. Mid-level high gods had mastered 60% of the Jindan domain. High-level high gods had mastered 90% of the Jindan domain. As for peak high gods, they had mastered 10% of the Jindan domain. Longao's primordial spirit domain was hard to say, but he was completely confident. Even if he were to face a peak high god who had mastered 10% of the Jindan domain, his primordial spirit domain wouldn't fear him in the slightest. The 7 Jindan domains clashed against each other. In a situation where he was fighting 1 against 6, not only was Longao not immediately killed, he was actually able to fight them to a standstill. The more they fought, the more shocked they became. The more they fought, the more incredulous they felt. Was this the Jindan domain of a god? Was this the power that a god should have? This was complete nonsense. Prior to this, if someone were to tell them that a god not only had mastered a Jindan domain, but was also able to fight 1 against 6, they would definitely slap that person. But now, the truth was right in front of their eyes. They had no choice but to believe it. Longao was very clear that if he were to fight 1 high god alone, even if the other party was a peak high god, he wouldn't have the slightest bit of fear. After all, his primordial spirit domain was completely comparable to 10% of the Jindan domain. But now, the situation wasn't quite right. There were 6 of them. With 6 Jindan domains stacked on top of each other, even his primordial spirit domain couldn't forcefully suppress them. In the end, it was because his level was too low. If he could break through to become a high god, even if he was just a beginner high god, he could easily kill 6 high gods. There was no doubt about that. Seizing the opportunity, Longao also wanted to try out the primordial chaos 5th axe that he had just comprehended. He wanted to see how powerful the primordial spirit imprisonment was and whether it could become his most powerful killing move. Primordial chaos 9th axe, 5th axe, primordial spirit imprisonment. And just as the 6 of them thought that the other party was dead for sure, Longao's primordial spirit suddenly enveloped all 6 of them. After pausing for a moment, the 6 of them already knew what was going on. Immediately, they burst out laughing maniacally. They had seen arrogant people before. But, they had never seen someone as arrogant as this. To think that he would dare to use his primordial spirit to attack the 6 of them. Was there something wrong with the other party's brain? And just as the 6 of them were about to use their primordial spirits to retaliate, suddenly, the situation changed. My primordial spirit is being imprisoned. What's going on? Sensing that their primordial spirits were being imprisoned by the other party's primordial spirit, the 6 of them were scared silly. Of course, they knew what it meant to have one's primordial spirit imprisonment. Even a master god wouldn't be able to do something like this. And because of that, the 6 of them could not figure out just how the other party was doing it. He wanted to end this battle quickly. Initially, Longao was prepared to use his formation. But, to think that the primordial chaos 5th axe that he had just comprehended would be this heaven-defying. His primordial spirit could trap the primordial spirits of all 6 of them at the same time. At this moment, the 6 high gods were just like 6 normal people in the eyes of Longao. He could kill them as he wished without even needing a second move. Crack, 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 crack. To begin with, Longao's primordial spirit was already comparable to the primordial spirits of peak high gods. But now that the primordial spirits of all 6 of them were being imprisoned, there was no way they could defend against Longao's annihilation of consciousness. In just an instant, the bodies of all 6 of them fell down slowly. Looking at the 6 corpses before him, Longao chuckled out. His primordial spirit imprisonment had truly given him a pleasant surprise. And this was just the primordial spirit imprisonment alone. If he were to use this primordial spirit imprisonment with the help of the primordial chaos axe, even a master god might have their primordial spirits imprisoned by him if they were to let their guard down. Chapter 2934. Blackstone City, City Lord's Mansion. Nangong Chen was in the main hall, feeling depressed. Someone stumbled in from outside, seemingly scared out of his wits. What's going on? Lord City Lord, something bad has happened. Speak. Nangong Chen was furious. What had happened for a high god to act like this? Could it be that the sky of Blackstone City had collapsed? Our 6 protectors have all been killed. What? Nangong Chen jumped to his feet. His face was filled with shock and anger. The 6 guardians were all high gods. One of them was even a peak high god. Could it be that the person who killed the 6 of them was an over-god? Nangong Chen knew very well that even a peak high god wouldn't be able to do it. Who was it? Not long after. Outside the main hall. 6 corpses were carefully placed inside the main hall. Each of them had a large word on their body. 6 words, Blackstone City Lord. Who was it? Nangong Chen couldn't understand. These 6 were the people he had sent to the Zonglongtian region to inquire about Longao. Why would they die here for no reason? And the meaning of those 6 words was very clear. They were provoking him, provoking the City Lord's mansion. Who in the entire Blackstone region would dare to be so arrogant? Could it be Longao? The first person Nangong Chen thought of was Longao. Without saying anything else, his figure disappeared from the main hall. Dragon City, Pill Pavilion. They had been refining for a day and a night. It seemed as though City Lord Long and Palace Lord Dongfang didn't know the concept of fatigue at all. No one was willing to leave. At a glance, there were still as many people as there had been before. No one had left with the pills. The number of people had decreased, and it seemed as though more and more people were gathering. Such a cheap pill was extremely rare. Naturally, no one would easily give it up. Greetings, City Lord Nangong. This was Dragon City, after all. Many people didn't really care about Nangong Chen. But many people had already guessed why Nangong Chen had come. He had come to make trouble for City Lord Long again. If it was a year ago, there would definitely be a lot of people watching a good show. They would even hope that Nangong Chen would kill Longao. But now, as long as one's brain wasn't flooded with water, they wouldn't think that way. Longao himself was a level 4 pill inscription master. Not only was the effect of the pills he concocted heaven-defying, the price of the pills he concocted was also much lower than the pill hall. If Nangong Chen killed Longao, who would he look for in the future? Although he was angry, he didn't dare to say anything. With Nangong Chen's strength and status, even if someone was angry, they wouldn't dare to stand out and say anything. Longao, get the hell out here. Longao was one step ahead of Nangong Chen and had already returned to the Dragon City Pill Pavilion. Hearing Nangong Chen's angry roar, Longao quickly brought Han Yin and Nangong Tuing out. "Nangong Chen, are you trying to provoke my pill hall?" Han Yin's voice was very cold. The murderous aura on her body was so strong that it seemed to have materialized. Everyone in the surroundings was very curious. They didn't know what had happened and why Nangong Chen was so angry. Suppressing the anger in his heart, Nangong Chen said, "Longao, are you the one who killed the 6 protectors of my City Lord Mansion?" "Ah!" The 6 protectors of the City Lord Mansion were killed. Everyone in the surroundings sucked in a breath of cold air when they heard Nangong Chen's words. Everyone knew what the protectors of the City Master's mansion signified. They were genuine high gods. A total of 6 high gods were killed. No wonder City Master Nangong was so furious. Most likely, no matter who it was, they would be the same. Han Yin and Dongfang Tuiying had already heard Longao's words, so they weren't surprised at all. Although Longao was only a peak mid-god, he was already a level 4 array master. If he wanted to kill 6 high gods, as long as he had enough time to set up a formation, it was completely possible. Until now, the 2 of them still didn't know that Longao killed the 6 high gods without using a formation. The 2 of them also didn't expect that Longao, who was only a peak mid-god, had already comprehended the Golden Core domain and even had a heaven-defying killing move like the Primordial Spirit Imprisonment. Longao laughed. "Nangong Chen, I think you are really shameless to the extreme. I have been refining pills here all this time. Everyone here can testify for me. We can testify for City Lord Long. He has been refining pills here all this time and has never taken a step out of the pill pavilion." "That's right. City Lord Long has been refining pills for an entire day and night for us. How could he spare time to kill the 6 protectors of the City Lord Mansion? What a joke. If it was any other time, these people might not stand out to testify. After all, no one was willing to offend Nangong Chen. But now, the situation was different. If Longao was killed by Nangong Chen, who would they find to refine pills? After all, level 3 and level 4 pills were sold at such a price. At the very least, the pill hall wouldn't be able to buy them. As for whether Longao had left Dragon City after entering the pill pavilion, no one saw it. Nangong Chen's expression became more and more unsightly. In fact, he had already guessed that the 6 protectors shouldn't have been killed by Longao, Han Yin, and Dongfang Tuiying. After all, the 2 of them had a high status. If it wasn't Longao, then who could it be? So many people had seen Longao refining pills with their own eyes. Unless Longao had a clone, it was impossible. "Nangong Chen, I am only a mid-god. Do you think that I can kill your 6 protectors with my own strength?" Indeed, it was almost impossible for a mid-god to kill 6 high gods at the same time. Just the Golden Core realm alone wasn't something that a mid-god could control. "I have misunderstood you this time. Goodbye." "Wait. What is it?" "Nangong Chen, you came to my Dragon City for no reason. You pointed at my nose and scolded me. Are we just going to let this go?" The surrounding people looked at City Master Longao, who was standing outside of the pill pavilion, and gave him a thumbs up in their hearts. Longao was definitely the first person who dared to treat City Master Nangong like this. Just this courage alone was unparalleled. Nangong Chen's expression became even more gloomy. If it was just Longao, he would have killed him with a slap. But he couldn't do it now. Dongfang Tuiying and Han Yin were here. If he acted rashly, he would be provoking the pill hall. After all, the pill hall didn't provoke him first. Endure. He had to endure. His father hadn't returned yet. He couldn't handle the situation here alone. "What do you want?" "Compensation. I was insulted, so you have to compensate me." Everyone looked at this Dragon City Lord in a daze. He was really strong. He actually dared to ask the Blackrock City's City Lord, Nangong Chen, to compensate. "Nangong Chen, if you don't compensate, then I will assume that you are deliberately provoking us. I will personally report to the pill hall. At that time, Blackrock City will be destroyed." Chapter 2935. It was just an exaggeration. Nangong Chen obviously did not believe Longao's words. The Pill Palace would never attack the Blackstone Heavenly region for such a small matter. Even if the Pill Hall did not put him in their eyes, it was impossible for them to not be afraid of his father. No matter what, his father was a peak divine king who could kill a divine emperor. Unless the Pill Hall was out of their mind, they would not act rashly. He harumphed coldly. Nangong Chen suppressed the anger in his heart and quickly left. Longao smiled helplessly. From the beginning, he had never thought of asking the other party to compensate him. The fact was that Nangong Chen would not compensate him. It was already embarrassing for him to leave helplessly. If Nangong Chen really compensated him, then he would be utterly humiliated as the city lord. Everyone, let's continue with the refining. All right. Everyone cheered. That was how humans were. Whoever was useful to you would be useful to you. The news of the 6 guardians of the Blackstone City Lord Mansion being killed had spread across the entire Blackstone City, including other cities and towns. Not only that, there was a word written on each of the 6 corpses, for City Lord Nangong. What did that mean? As long as one was not an idiot, one would be able to guess that this person was provoking Nangong Chen. Originally, many people thought that this was done by the City Lord of Dragon City, Longao. Unfortunately, Longao was busy refining the pills and could not care less about it. If it was not Longao, then who could it be? They could not imagine that there would be someone who dared to provoke the City Lord Mansion in the Blackstone Heavenly region. Who was Nangong Chen? Not only was Nangong Chen the city governor of Blackstone City, but he was also a powerful peak over God. Not only that, Nangong Chen's father, Nangong Fengfeng, was the domain master of Blackstone Heavenly region, a freakish divine king who could kill a beginner divine emperor. The news of the 6 guardians of the City Lord Mansion being killed did not disperse for a long time. Everyone was discussing it. At this moment, Nangong Chen was extremely furious. However, there was nothing he could do. Because until now, he still did not know who was provoking the City Lord Mansion. Who was it that dared to provoke the City Lord Mansion? Was it because of his father? All of a sudden, Nangong Chen seemed to have thought of something. Why didn't it happen earlier or later? Why did it have to happen when his father left? As it seemed, this person had clearly come for him. His father and all the other overgods were not present in Blackrock City right now. If this person really did come, the consequences would be unthinkable. Nangong Chen's last bit of suspicion towards Longao had disappeared. First of all, even if Longao wanted to do so, Hanyin and Dongfang Tuying would definitely stop him. Before they completely shed all pretense of cordiality, Longao's actions were completely provocative. Secondly, Longao was only a mid-level deity. Without the help of the 2 overgods, Longao alone would not be able to contend with any one of them, let alone killing 6 high-level deities at the same time. Even Nangong Chen did not expect that Longao, who was only a middle god, had already comprehended the Golden Core realm and even had the primordial spirit shackle. 4 hours after Nangong Chen left, Longao secretly left Dragon City again and moved into Blackrock City without anyone noticing. The City Lord's mansion and the Domain Chief's mansion, one in the east and one in the west. According to rumors, originally, the Domain Chief's mansion and the City Lord's mansion were actually the same mansion. However, later on, Nangong Fengfeng accidentally found a 10,000-year fire lotus and directly moved the Domain Chief's mansion away. He wanted to wait for the 10,000-year fire lotus to mature and find someone to refine a treasure. There was no overgod in the Domain Chief's mansion, only a few dozen high gods. Longao had already entered the Domain Chief's mansion without anyone noticing. However, he was curious as to why Nangong Fengfeng would leave such an important item like the 10,000-year fire lotus without worry. Was there something fishy going on? However, since things had already come to this, there was no way he would back down. Longao knew very well that if he wanted to continue to become a level 5 elixir inscription master, he had to upgrade the heart-burning lotus. And the best thing for that was the 10,000-year fire lotus. Even if he knew that there was danger ahead, he had to go. Longao definitely could not sense the existence of the 10,000-year fire lotus. However, It did not mean that the heart-burning lotus could not sense it. With the help of the heart-burning lotus, he quickly locked onto the exact location of the 10,000-year fire lotus. There was a huge cave under the domain chief's mansion. At first glance, it was very big. In the middle of the cave, there was a small pool with a fiery red lotus in it. Without guessing, Longao knew that the lotus in front of him was the 10,000-year fire lotus that he was looking for. He had searched high and low for it, only to find it by sheer luck. Just as Longao took a step forward and was about to let the heart-burning lotus devour him, a powerful attack suddenly appeared from all directions. In fact, before coming, Longao had already thought about letting the heart-burning lotus devour him regardless of whether the 10,000-year fire lotus had matured or not. After all, he could not stay here and wait for the 10,000-year fire lotus to mature. If he forcibly devoured an unripe 10,000-year fire lotus, the effect would definitely not be satisfactory. However, since things had already come to this, he could not care about other things. Level 6 formation, Emperor Slaying Formation. Now that Longao was a level 4 formation master, he certainly knew what a level 6 formation meant. No wonder Nangong Fengyun dared to leave the domain chief's mansion without a single divine god. With such a powerful formation, even a divine emperor would not be able to escape, let alone others. As Longao thought, it was not a secret that the domain chief's mansion had the 10,000-year fire lotus. Until now, no one had dared to snatch it, not even a divine emperor. Was it really because Nangong Fengyun had once killed a divine emperor? It was completely nonsense. Even if Nangong Fengyun could kill a junior divine emperor, it was impossible for him to kill a middle divine emperor, or even a senior divine emperor or a peak divine emperor. However, the 10,000-year fire lotus was still here after so many years. Apart from the fact that the 10,000-year fire lotus had not matured and it was meaningless to take it away, the emperor slaying formation was the biggest reason. As for whether a powerful divine emperor would come to snatch the 10,000-year fire lotus after it matured, no one knew. However, Longao did not care about these things. Now that the emperor slaying formation had been activated, it was still unknown whether he could leave the emperor slaying formation alive, let alone devouring the 10,000-year fire lotus. Longao cursed in his heart. Nangong Fengyun was really influential to have invited a level 6 formation master to set up the emperor slaying formation. After all, he knew better than anyone else what a level 6 formation master meant. The status of a level 6 formation master was even higher than a divine emperor. He didn't dare to hesitate and immediately began to dodge. Although he hadn't seen the emperor slaying formation with his own eyes, he knew that it was very powerful. It was impossible for him to break the emperor slaying formation with his current level of formation. Chapter 2936. The strength of the emperor slaying formation had far exceeded Longao's knowledge. Indeed, it was a grade 6 formation. If not for the fact that he had advanced to a grade 4 formation master, he might not even be able to defend against a single wave of attacks. Even so, Longao had already entered the Chaos Palace before the second wave of attacks landed. His face was grim. If he could not break out of the Emperor Slaying formation, he would not be able to obtain the 10,000 years Fire Lotus. What should he do? He was helpless. Longao knew his own level of setting up arrays. Wanting to rely on a level 4 array to break the level 6 Emperor Extermination array was like a fool's dream. It was almost impossible. Unless he could advance to a grade 6 formation master. But was that possible? That was practically impossible. Longao knew how difficult it was to advance from a grade 4 formation master to a grade 6 formation master. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Blackie, what's wrong with you? Right now, Blackie was already a pinnacle upper god who could devour everything. He was extremely strong. Even till now, Lin Fan did not know what sort of spirit beast Blackie was. You can help me get the 10,000 years Fire Lotus? Hearing Blackie's boo-hoo, Longao finally understood what Blackie meant. Given Blackie's strength, it was naturally impossible for him to break out of the Emperor Slaying formation. However, Blackie could be immune to the attacks of the Emperor Slaying formation. This was something that Longao had not expected. He had never seen such a heaven-defying spirit beast before. To think that it could evade the attacks of a grade 6 emperor-slaying formation. There was no time to lose. No one knew when Nangong Fengyun would return. Therefore, he had to obtain the 10,000 years Fire Lotus in the shortest time possible. Under such circumstances, Longao could not be bothered about whether the 10,000 years Fire Lotus had matured or not. By the time Nangong Fengyun returned, he would not even be able to take away the unmatured 10,000 years Fire Lotus. Go and bring the 10,000 years Fire Lotus back. Blackie booed twice and left the Chaos World instantly. He sped towards the pool in front of him at a speed as fast as lightning. The moment Blackie returned with the 10,000 years Fire Lotus, a horrifying aura arrived. He thought to himself, that was close. How could Longao not know who the owner of this aura was? He was shocked because he never thought that he would be so lucky. Little Black had just returned to the Primal Chaos Palace, and Nangong Fengyun had already appeared. If he was a step late, he could imagine the consequences. As expected. Just as Blackie entered the Primal Chaos Palace, Nangong Fengyun's figure appeared instantly. He stared at the pool in front of him, but the 10,000-year Fire Lotus was no longer there. The Royal Slaying Array had obviously been activated. Who was it? Chen have there been any unusual movements recently? Suppressing the anger in his heart, he had guarded the 10,000-year Flame Lotus for so many years, waiting for it to mature and refine a treasure. It was about to mature, and it would have matured in at most 10 years, but it was taken away by someone else. How could he not be furious? What was the use of being angry? Nangong Chen didn't know what had happened, but he could clearly feel an endless murderous aura from his father. Nothing unusual. It's just, but what? Nangong Chen didn't dare to hide anything. He told his father everything that had happened, not daring to leave out a single word. Because he still didn't know what had happened to his father. Could it be that the previous incident had something to do with his father? Father, I have already investigated this matter. It's not Longao's doing. He has been staying in the Dragon City Elixir Pavilion to refine elixirs. Nangong Fengyun waved his hand. Nangong Fengyun's face was extremely gloomy as he said, the level 6 Royal Slaying Array can't be broken by a level 4 Array Master. Nangong Chen wasn't a fool. He instantly understood what his father meant. Something had happened to the 10,000-year Flame Lotus. Nangong Chen was shocked. He knew how much his father needed the 10,000-year Flame Lotus. Once it matured and was refined into a treasure, according to his father, his combat strength would soar again. At that time, it wouldn't be difficult for him to kill a junior Divine Emperor. Others might not know, but how could he not know? His father had fought with a junior Divine Emperor to snatch the 10,000-year Flame Lotus. Although his father won in the end, it was a Pyrrhic victory. He was almost killed by the junior Divine Emperor. If he could refine the 10,000-year Flame Lotus into a treasure, he would have a great chance of winning against a junior Divine Emperor. But now, the 10,000-year Flame Lotus was taken away by someone. It was absolutely a bolt out of the blue for his father. Who was so bold to risk being killed by the Royal Slaying Array? He couldn't figure it out. He really couldn't figure it out. Humph, this person must be a level 6 Array Master to be able to avoid the Royal Slaying Array silently. Moreover, his array skills must be very powerful. Nangong Fengyun's face became more and more solemn. At this time, he didn't know what to say. He was almost certain that the person was not only a Divine Emperor expert, but also a powerful level 6 Array Master. Even if such an expert forcibly snatched the 10,000-year Flame Lotus, he wouldn't be able to keep it. But what was the result? This person didn't snatch the 10,000-year Flame Lotus openly, but sneakily. Nangong Fengyun's intuition told him that this matter wasn't that simple. Such an expert didn't need to do this. Was it really Longao? It was impossible. According to his son, Longao was still a medium god. Even if he was gifted and had broken through to the peak of the lower god realm, the gap between a lower god realm and a divine emperor realm was too big. In addition, Longao was only a level 4 array master. How could he sneak past a level 6 array master's royal slaying array silently? Longao was basically ruled out. Nangong Fengyun couldn't hide the fact that the 10,000-year flame lotus had been stolen. In just one day, the news had spread all over the Blackstone city and even the entire Blackstone heavenly domain. Many divine emperors wanted to snatch the 10,000-year flame lotus. However, after hearing the news, their first reaction was disbelief. How could the 10,000-year flame lotus be lost? It was complete nonsense. There was a level 6 array master's royal slaying array in the domain chief's manor. Even divine emperors didn't dare to enter it casually. A level 6 array master had once killed a divine emperor with this powerful array master's help. Therefore, even divine emperors were afraid of it. Otherwise, someone would have come to snatch the 10,000-year flame lotus. Many divine emperors didn't believe it. They went to the domain chief's manor to investigate. Many people knew that the 10,000-year flame lotus hadn't matured yet, but this person couldn't wait. Obviously, he didn't want to give others a chance. Not to mention Nangong Fengyun, even the other divine emperors were furious. However, this person had done it so secretly that no one knew about it. Perhaps Nangong Fengyun was the one who stole the 10,000-year flame lotus and set the trap himself. Chapter 2937. Dragon City. After dozens of days of refining, the elixir pavilion finally came to an end. After this incident, many people were grateful to Longao and Palace Master Dongfang. After all, not everyone had the courage to sell the elixir at such a low price. Killing two birds with one stone. Longao was very excited. Not only did he win the hearts of the people, but he also got the 10,000 years fire lotus. Without Blackie, it was impossible to break the Emperor slaying array. Brother Long, this must not be leaked out. The outside world is in a mess. Many divine emperors have appeared. Some of them even went to the domain master's mansion. Han Yin was also surprised. It was really unexpected that Longao could break the Emperor slaying array. Level 6 Emperor slaying array, a level 6 array that could even kill a divine emperor. What about Longao? Longao was only a level 4 array master. Under normal circumstances, it was impossible for him to break a level 6 array. As for how Longao did it, Han Yin and Dongfang Tuying did not ask. It's not a bad thing to kill someone with a borrowed knife. Dongfang Tuying shook his head and said, it's not possible. After all, Nangong Fengyun is a peak divine king who could kill a beginner divine emperor. Unless it's a matter of life and death, no one would really attack Nangong Fengyun. Of course, Longao knew what Dongfang Tuying meant. There was nothing he could do. Brother Dongfang, Sister Han, I'm going to devour the 10,000 years fire lotus now. What if Nangong Fengyun comes? Longao was very confident about this. Longao smiled and said, don't worry. Nangong Fengyun and Nangong Chen won't come. Their suspicion of me has been completely eliminated. A middle god, even a level 4 array master, can't pass through the level 6 Emperor slaying array and take the 10,000 years fire lotus without anyone noticing. After Longao entered the Chaos Palace, Han Yin looked very serious. She said helplessly, Brother Dongfang, you should know what the 10,000 years fire lotus means to Nangong Fengyun. If this matter is leaked out, I'm afraid Nangong Fengyun will not tolerate it even with the protection of the Pill Hall. Not to mention Nangong Fengyun, no matter who it was, they would be furious upon encountering such a situation. Since things have come to this, we can only take one step at a time. Leak. There were only 3 people who knew about this. As long as they didn't speak of it, who would know? Inside the chaos shop. Looking at little hay in front of him, Longao stroked its head lovingly. I really didn't expect you to be so powerful. To be immune to the 6th level of the royal slaying array, such terrifying strength was really unbelievable. Big brother, if it were any other formation, I might not be able to pass through it. Only the level 6 Emperor slaying formation is of no use to me. Huh. Longao was surprised to hear Blackie speak. You can speak now? Yes, something suddenly appeared in my mind, so I was able to speak before I knew it. What did that mean? Could it be an inheritance? Longao certainly knew what Blackie meant. It seemed that Blackie's identity was indeed not simple. This kind of mythological beast with inheritance was not simple at all. Blackie, What's your tribe? I don't have a tribe. The thing I just obtained, I think I'm a heaven-devouring beast. I'm the only one in the entire Chaos realm. Heaven-devouring beast. Just this name alone was enough to tell how powerful Blackie was. Big brother, is the thing that appeared in my mind an inheritance? It should be, Blackie said in surprise. I just obtained a divine ability called Heaven-devouring. Although I'm only a high-level god now, I can devour beginner-level lords and even mid-level lords. Lin Fan was shocked. Longao had already guessed that Blackie was powerful, but he was still shocked by Blackie's strength. No one would believe that a high-level god could devour a mid-level lord. Blackie, if you were to devour a peak lord, would you be able to succeed? Nangong Chen's cultivation was already a peak lord. Even if Lin Fan could not defeat Nangong Fengyun, it would be great if he could kill Nangong Chen first. Big brother, you think too highly of me. Even if my heaven-devouring divine ability is extremely powerful, I can only devour mid-level lords at most. If I want to devour a peak lord, I'll have to raise my cultivation to beginner-level lords. What if I'm included? Although Longao's cultivation was only a peak mid-level god, he was a level 4 formation master. If the two were to combine, would they really be able to kill Nangong Chen? How could Blackie not know what his big brother meant? After thinking for a while, he said, Big brother, if you can set up a super level 4 formation and trap him, I can give it a try. I might really be able to devour him. All right. As long as Nangong Chen was alive, he would always be a big problem. Longao would of course not make things difficult for himself. Although he had the protection of the Pill Hall, who knew what would happen in the future? Moreover, he did not know when his family would break through and be teleported to the chaotic realm. Therefore, he had to establish his force and kill Nangong Chen in advance. Longao would take the risk and not act rashly. If Nangong Fengyun knew about this, even if the Pill Hall was to protect him, Nangong Fengyun would not let him go easily. Therefore, he had to kill Nangong Chen secretly without anyone knowing. Nangong Fengyun would not think of him, just like the matter of the 10,000 years Fire Lotus. What? You want to kill Nangong Chen? As soon as Dongfang Tuying finished speaking, Han Yin immediately said, Brother Long, are you crazy? Big brother Dongfang and I will not help you to kill Nangong Chen. If that's the case, Nangong Fengyun will definitely not let it go. At that time, I'm afraid. Han Yin did not want to continue speaking. Nangong Fengyun loved his son the most. Otherwise, he would not have helped Nangong Chen break through to the early Divine King realm and become the city lord of Black Rock City. Han Yin was almost certain that if Nangong Chen was really killed, Nangong Fengyun would definitely take action even if it was the Pill Hall. It was simply impossible. Longao knew what Big Brother Dongfang and Sister Han meant. He smiled and said, Big Brother Dongfang, Sister Han, of course I know what you mean. However, if we kill Nangong Chen without anyone knowing, then this matter will not be a problem. As for killing Nangong Chen, the two of you do not have to take action. I alone will be enough. This time, I must succeed. Nangong Chen will definitely die. Chapter 2938. Deal with it alone? Until now, the two of them still couldn't believe that Longao could kill Nangong Chen alone. Nangong Chen was a true pinnacle master god. As for Longao, he was just a pinnacle middle god. The difference between the two of them was too big. For a middle god to kill a master god was like a fool's dream. Longao didn't say anything, and the two of them didn't ask. Since they were friends, there were things to be said and things to be asked. Longao didn't attack immediately. If he wanted to kill Nangong Chen, he had to do it perfectly. Otherwise, if Nangong Fengfeng got hold of this, the consequences would be unimaginable. The Black Rock City was in a mess now. Many god emperors came to the Black Rock City. They didn't believe Nangong Fengfeng's words at all. In their eyes, Nangong Fengfeng was purposely trying to take the 10,000 years Fire Lotus for himself. But what made them furious was that the 10,000 years Fire Lotus wasn't mature yet. Nangong Fengfeng's actions had reduced the effectiveness of the 10,000 years Fire Lotus by several folds. What kind of concept was that? But Nangong Fengfeng was strong enough to be fearless. If the 10,000 years Fire Lotus was at its peak, Someone might try to snatch it and even fight with Nangong Fongfong. But now, an unmature 10,000 years fire lotus wouldn't be of much use even if they tried to snatch it. They might even fight with Nangong Fongfong to the death. If it was an ordinary pinnacle god king, the god emperors would have attacked long ago. But Nangong Fongfong wasn't simple. Within the Chaos Palace, Longao didn't plan to kill Nangong Chen immediately. The most important thing now was to let the burning heart flame lotus devour the 10,000 years fire lotus to level up. Even though the 10,000 years fire lotus wasn't mature yet, things had already come to this. He could only forcefully devour it. TSK TSK, TSK TSK, TSK TSK. The burning heart flame lotus devoured the 10,000 years fire lotus and started to merge. After 3 days and 3 nights, the burning heart flame lotus finally managed to level up after devouring the 10,000 years fire lotus. Even so, Longao was pleasantly surprised. Longao was confident that the burning heart flame lotus level up. He was a level 5 elixir inscription master. LN. Once he became a level elixir inscription master, he would be an important existence. Blackrock City. After disguising himself, Longao concealed his aura and quietly moved into Blackrock City. No one would be able to recognize him. There were 20 to 30 overgods in the City Lord's Manor and the Domain Lord's Manor. Not including Nangong Fongfong, a peak godly king, it was almost impossible for them to kill Nangong Chen secretly. Yunshi. Just as Longao was trying to think of a way to deal with Nangong Chen suddenly appeared in front of him. What was Yunshi doing here? Longao knew very well that Nangong Chen still did not know about his relationship with Yunshi. Once he found out, he could imagine the consequences. At that time, Nangong Chen would definitely deal with Yunshi. He could not implicate Yunshi. Sister Yun, come with me. Who are you? Longao. Looking at the middle-aged man who had suddenly appeared in front of her, Yunshi was very surprised. However, she could recognize Longao's gaze. She nodded excitedly and immediately followed Longao into the distance. In a secluded room of an inn. Sister Yun, why are you here? Longao was very curious. He did not believe that Sister Yun did not know what had happened between him and Blackrock City. If that was the case, why did Sister Yun still dare to come here? Brother Long, I really did not expect that in such a short time, not only have you become a peak mid-god, but you have also become a level 3 pill inscription master and a level 3 array master. Level 3 pill inscription master and level 3 array master? Longao only smiled. If Sister Yun knew that he was no longer a level 3 pill inscription master and a level 3 array master, she would definitely be surprised. Originally, I wanted to go to Dragon City to look for you. However, I had some matters to attend to, so I came to Blackrock City first. I see. Sister Yun, how is Qian-er? Longao was very concerned about Qian-er. Although Qian-er had received her master's inheritance, before she broke through to the godly emperor realm, she was not 100% safe. For some reason, Yunshi felt somewhat uncomfortable. However, she still smiled and said, ever since Sister Qian-er returned to the family, she has been in seclusion to refine her inheritance. As for what level she has reached, even I do not know. Qian-er has not come out of seclusion even once. Sister Yun, when you return to the Yun family, immediately think of a way to sever all ties with me. Once Blackrock City finds out, we will be in big trouble. Grandfather has already done so. Longao felt somewhat amused. He had been worrying for nothing. If the Yun family had not done so, given the powerful forces of Blackrock City, he believed that they would have discovered his relationship with the Yun family long ago. Most likely, the Yun family would have been destroyed by now. Seeing that the Yun family was fine, Longao more or less let out a sigh of relief. Sister Yun, if the other 2 great families of Cosmos City are destroyed, will your Yun family become the sole ruler of Cosmos City? After letting out a deep sigh, Yunshi said helplessly, the other 2 great families have high gods holding the fort. Unless we have the help of an overgod, it is almost impossible for our Yun family to destroy the other 2 great families and become the sole ruler of Cosmos City. Longao was only at the peak of the middle god realm. It was impossible for him to fight against a high god. As for why he could contend against Blackrock City, in Yunshi's opinion, it was all because of the Pill Hall. If it was not for the Pill Hall, forget about one Longao, even 10,000 Longaos would not be a match for Blackrock City. Longao only smiled. Although he was now at the peak of the Middle God Realm, it was not difficult for him to kill a high god. If it was just the Yun family alone, he would not even ask. However, Yunshi was ultimately a disciple of the Yun family. He would just consider it as helping the Yun family. Sister Yun, I have a way to help you get rid of the other two great families without anyone knowing. After saying that, Longao suddenly thought of Ling Ruori. If he were to destroy the Ling family, it would be a little too unkind. As though she could guess what Longao was thinking, Yunshi smiled helplessly and said, if the Yun family were to rule Cosmos City, the Blackrock Domain Chief's manor would definitely not be able to do it. If we could get rid of the Yi family's high god, then we and the Ling family would each take half of the city. That might not be a bad thing. Just as he said Longao, he regretted it. Now that Yunshi had said so, it was exactly what he wanted. Wait a moment. I will go with you to Cosmos City and get rid of the Yi family. Speaking of the Yi family, Yunshi seemed to have thought of something. She said, Brother Long, I don't know why, but I keep feeling that something is wrong with the Yi family. He did not hide anything and roughly recounted what had happened in Chenkuan City. Until now, Yunshi was still a little curious. She did not know what the Yi family was up to and why they had to endure all of a sudden. It was really a little strange. Chapter 2939. Brother Long, there must be something fishy going on with the Yi family. Let's just wait and see. He shook his head. If it was before, Longao would not have attacked so casually. After all, a superior god was not someone he could fight against. But now, the situation was different. He could kill a superior god. Even if he encountered a beginner or intermediate lord, Xiao Hei could use the devouring heavenly power to devour them. Towards the Yi family, Longao originally had the intention to kill. Sister Yun, are you done with your business? How could Yunshi not know what Longao was thinking? I'm done. But Brother Long, can you really kill a superior god? Longao smiled and left quickly with Yunshi. Chenkuan City. This was Longao's second return to Chenkuan City. Previously, he killed Yi Han and 4 intermediate gods of the Yi family. According to Sister Yun, the Yi family was like a mad dog, biting people everywhere. Longao came back secretly this time. Neither the Yun family nor the Ling family knew about it. Yi family. Yi Feng and Yi Zhuang were discussing something with serious expressions. They were a little rash earlier, causing the Yun family and the Ling family to join forces and put the Yi family in a passive position. What are the Yun family and the Ling family doing? Yi Zhuang replied immediately, Father, the Yun family and the Ling family are very afraid of you. So, unless it's a last resort, they won't break the balance casually. Yi Zhuang was no fool. His father's strength was obvious. Unless the two families were confident that they could defeat his father, it would be a joke if the two families wanted to destroy his family. Balance. Yi Feng was helpless. If the 2 old men of the Yun family and the Ling family joined forces, he was no match for them. Looks like we'll have to take the initiative and destroy them one by one. Just you. Suddenly, a disdainful laugh came from the hall. It was very strange. Who is it? Looking at the young man who suddenly appeared in front of him, Yi Zhuang asked immediately, Who are you? Yi Zhuang and Yi Feng heaved a sigh of relief. They thought that their opponent was a powerful superior god. They did not expect him to be just a medium god. Who I am is not important. What is important is that after today, there will no longer be any Yi clan in Chenkuan City. Arrogant. Yi Zhuang was furious. He was also at the peak of the mid-level deity stage. He took a step forward and punched his opponent with both fists. But what was the result? It was just one move. Longao did not want to waste any time. He wanted to end the battle quickly. A blood-curdling scream rang out. Then, Yi Zhuang's body flew backwards. Yi Feng's expression changed. He didn't dare to be careless. He immediately started to attack his opponent. No wonder the other party dared to provoke them. It turned out that they had something to rely on. He didn't waste any time. Before Longao came in, he had already set up a concealment array, so no one outside knew what happened in the Yi family. It could be said that no one knew. Xiao Hei's huge body suddenly appeared, and before Yi Feng could react, it had already swallowed him. Here. Crunch. It swallowed Yi Feng in one gulp. According to Xiao Hei, with his current devouring divine power, he could even swallow beginner lords and mid-level lords, let alone a superior god. Until his death, Yi Feng had no idea what was going on. He had never seen such a powerful divine beast. It was only a superior god, but it could swallow him by force. Cut the weeds and eliminate the roots to prevent future trouble. With this principle in mind, Longao began to wipe out the entire Yi family in the next second. Not a single person was left alive. In just a few dozen minutes, the entire Yi family was slaughtered. Longao was very clear in his heart that today's matter must not be leaked out. Otherwise, not only him, even the Yun family and the Ling family would be in great trouble. As long as the Black Rock City's City Lord Mansion was willing, it would be too easy to destroy the two great families. The next day, early morning. The news of the Yi family's destruction had spread throughout Chengkuan City. At first, it was thought that it was the Yun family and the Ling family who did it. However, the two families were also looking for the culprit. Could it not be the two families who did it? However, after thinking about it, it made sense. The two families probably could not have done it. If they had such great strength, the two families would have joined forces and destroyed the Yi family long ago. Why would they wait until now and do something superfluous? Chengkuan City was originally a tripartite city. However, with the destruction of the Yi family, the tripartite city was now split into two families, each with half of the city. Although the Yun family and the Ling family did not know what was going on with the destruction of the Yi family, they were pleasantly surprised. Without the Yi family, the two families could completely dominate the Yi family's business. To the two families, this was undoubtedly a great thing. Brother Long, did you really destroy the Yi family? Looking at the young man in front of her, she still could not believe that it was true. There was no need to mention Yi Feng's strength. Even if her grandfather personally took action, he might not have full confidence in winning. Not to mention, he did it without anyone knowing. She did not know how Longao did it. Sister Yun, to be honest, previously, I accidentally became friends with a little guy. He recently obtained an inheritance and a divine ability called Devour the Heavens. He can devour any high god. Ah! Devour any high god? What kind of concept was that? She was shocked. No wonder Longao was so confident that he could kill Yi Feng and exterminate the Yi family. With the help of such a divine beast, not to mention exterminating the Yi family, even exterminating the Yun family and Ling family would be a matter of minutes. Sister Yun, I will leave Chengkuan City secretly later. If there's anything in the future, you can look for me in Dragon City. If I'm not around, you can look for Sister Han or Brother Dongfang. They will help you. Of course, Yunxi knew who the Sister Han and Brother Dongfang that Longao mentioned were. One of them was an elder from the Pill Palace's main hall while the other was the palace master of the sub-hall. It could be said that the two of them were high and mighty. No matter if it was strength or status, they were not something that she could compare with. Looking at the young man in front of her, Yunxi was a little absent-minded. Longao had just stepped into the chaotic world. It had only been a few years, but his achievements were already far beyond many people. If it was someone else who dared to offend the Blackrock City's City Lord Mansion and the Domain Master's Mansion, the Pill Palace would definitely not interfere. However, not only did the Pill Palace interfere with Longao, they even offended the City Lord Mansion and the Domain Master's Mansion for Longao. They even pulled the sub-hall out of the Blackrock City. It was something that was unimaginable. Something that was impossible to happen actually happened to Longao. It was unbelievable. Chapter 2940. Are you going to leave again? Can't you stay for a few more days? Longao wasn't an idiot. How could he not know Yunxi's attitude towards him? It would be a lie if he said he wasn't moved at all. However, could he really accept Yunxi's feelings? Absolutely not. Sister Yun. How could Yunshi not know what Longao wanted to say? Before Longao could say anything, Yunshi had already said, "Brother Long, could it be that you really don't have any feelings for me?" Yes. Although he couldn't accept it, Longao didn't want to lie to Sister Yun. Yunshi's face lit up. She immediately said, "If that's the case, I don't want to hear anything else. I just want to tell you one thing. No matter what danger it is, I, Yunshi, am not afraid." Looking at Sister Yun, Longao sighed deeply. Since Sister Yun had said so, what else could he say? 3 days later, I will leave Cosmos City. Okay. In the end, Longao's heart softened. He couldn't bear to let down Sister Yun's feelings. However, this matter couldn't be leaked out. If Nangong Chen and the others knew about it, the consequences would be unimaginable. When it came to the Yi family, neither the Yun family nor the Ling family knew that it was Longao who did it. 3 days later, under Yunshi's reluctance, Longao finally left Cosmos City. Originally, he wanted to deal with Nangong Chen. Unfortunately, Nangong Fengyun never left Blackrock City after the 10,000 Years Fire Lotus was stolen. It was impossible for him to make a move in Blackrock City. He might even end up worse off. Following the establishment of the Pill Pavilion, its reputation grew. It brought Dragon City back to life. It was even more prosperous than before. The Pill Hall still turned a blind eye to the Pill Pavilion in Dragon City. As long as the Pill Pavilion didn't leave Dragon City, it would never be able to threaten the Pill Hall's position. Just as Longao was thinking of a way to deal with Nangong Chen, Han Yin suddenly came to find him. Out of curiosity, Longao didn't continue to stay in Blackrock City. He immediately returned to Dragon City. In the lobby, "Big Sister Han, why did you call me back in such a hurry?" Han Yin said in surprise, "Longao, the Heaven's Path has opened. If you want to increase your strength as quickly as possible, you have to enter the Heaven's Path." Heaven's Road? Longao was very unfamiliar with Heaven's Road, and did not know what it was. "Sister Han, what is Heaven's Road?" Of course, Han Yin knew that Longao had just stepped into the primal chaos realm, and it had only been a few years since then. He definitely wouldn't know what the Heaven's Path was. "Brother Long, the Heavenly Path is divided into 2 layers. The first layer can only be entered by low gods, mid gods, and high gods. After entering, not only will you be able to obtain all sorts of treasures and fortuitous encounters, your strength will even rise far above the outside world." He nodded. How could Longao not go to such a good place? "Big brother Dongfang, big sister Han, do you know where the entrance to Heaven's Road is? Every heaven domain has them." He was startled. According to the 2 of them, not only could Heaven's Path be entered by martial artists from the lower 33 heaven domains, but even martial artists from the middle 33 heaven domains and upper 33 heaven domains could enter. What did this mean? The primal chaos realm's 99 heaven domains had endless geniuses. It seemed that the Heaven's Path was definitely not simple. Before Longao could ask, Dongfang Tuying continued, "Brother Long, every time the Heaven's Path opens, there is no time limit. When entering the Heaven's Path, other than dealing with the dangers of the Heaven's Path itself, you have to deal with the martial artists from the various heaven domains. Those who can come out alive are few and far between." Longao had guessed this point. "Big brother Dongfang, you just said the lower layer of the Heaven's Path. What about the upper layer? Only master gods can enter the upper layer. Could it be that god kings and above can't enter the Heaven's Path?" Of course not. The Heaven's Path's restriction is that god kings and above, including god kings, can enter. If you force your way in, you will be killed by the Heaven's Path. I see. Longao could not wait to enter the Heaven's Path. If he could become a superior god in the Heaven's Path, or even break through to the Master God realm, that would be the best. I wonder where the entrance of the Heaven's Path is in the Blackstone domain. Blackstone Mountain Range. Longao was definitely familiar with the Blackstone Mountain Range. As the largest mountain range in the Blackstone domain, there were dangers everywhere in the Blackstone Mountain Range. It was also the gathering place of spiritual beasts and divine beasts. Not to mention ordinary people, even god kings would not dare to casually step in. When? The Heaven's Path will open in a month's time. A month's time was nothing for martial artists. No matter who it was, they would place great importance on the Heaven's Path. Although the Heaven's Path was filled with dangers, once one came out alive, their strength would greatly increase. Not to mention Dragon City, even the city lord of the Black Stone City, Nangong Chen, was preparing to enter the Heaven's Path. Because according to the rules of the Heaven's Path, Master Gods could enter the upper levels of the Heaven's Path. He had been preparing to be stuck at the peak Master God realm for many years. If he could make use of this opportunity to break through to the God King realm, it would be the best thing. Everyone was preparing. In the 99 heaven domains, those who wanted to enter the Heaven's Path had already gone to the entrance. After all, there were 99 entrances to the Heaven's Path. Each time it opened, it would only last for a few hours. Sometimes, most people would not even be able to enter the Heaven's Path. In the end, there were too many people who wanted to enter the Heaven's Path. Brother Long, although many people want to enter the Heaven's Path, 80% of them are unwilling to enter. Because every time they enter the Heaven's Path, at least 90% of them will fall in the Heaven domain. Big Brother Dongfang, Sister Han, the two of you must be careful in the upper levels of the Heaven's Path. According to my guess, Nangong Chen will bring a large number of experts into the upper levels of the Heaven's Path. At that time, he will definitely surround and kill the two of you. Because he knows that only by killing the two of you can he deal with me. Han Yin nodded and said, "Of course we know what you're talking about. But this time, Nangong Chen will not let go of such an opportunity. Not only will he deal with us, but he will also deal with you. I'll kill whoever comes." Longao couldn't wait for Nangong Chen to send more people. At that time, he would be able to eliminate the root of the problem. Not only could he contend against a high god with his strength, even Xiao Hei could easily devour a high god. But this was also true. After entering the lower levels of the Heaven's Path, he was practically an invincible existence. Unless a high master god came, he wouldn't need to be afraid of anyone. Chapter 2941. The Heaven's Road was about to open. Longao naturally wouldn't want to continue dealing with Nangong Chen. Although there was still a month before the Heaven's Road opened, the three of them decided to head to the Blackstone Mountains in advance. Every time the Heaven's Road opened, there were too many warriors entering. 60% of them couldn't enter. With the speed of the three of them, they had already smoothly entered the Blackstone mountain range in a short few days. The Blackstone Mountains was the largest mountain range in the Blackstone Heavenly region. When Longao and the other two entered the Blackstone Mountains, they realized that there were people everywhere. Some were in groups, some were alone. The Blackstone Mountains were already extremely large. Even so, they could still see people everywhere. No matter who it was, no one dared to step into the depths of the Blackstone Mountains. If they provoked a powerful divine beast, they might not even be able to leave the Heavenly region alive, let alone enter the Heavenly region. Every time the Heaven's Road opens, countless warriors die. It's really a tragedy. Dongfang Tuying sighed. Nangong Chen really came. Ever since they entered the Blackstone Mountains, Longao had been paying attention to Nangong Chen and the others. As expected. Not only did Nangong Chen come, but he also brought many overgods, including high gods. It was obvious what Nangong Chen wanted to do once they stepped into the Heaven's Road. If it was anyone else, they would have wet their pants in fear when facing such a powerful opponent. Only Longao. Not to mention Nangong Chen, he didn't even fear Nangong Fengfeng. When Longao and the other two discovered Nangong Chen also discovered Longao and the other two. They're coming. After a short while, Nangong Chen and the others arrived in front of Longao and the other two. They sneered and said, "Longao, I hope you can come out alive after entering the Heaven's Road." What did that mean? Han Yin's face suddenly turned cold. She said coldly, "Nangong Chen, can I assume that you're threatening the people of the Pill Hall?" "Ha ha ha, Elder Han, you're overthinking. I'm just reminding the three of you that the Heaven's Road is full of dangers. Once you step in, your life and death will be up to the heavens. I hope you can come out alive." Han Yin was furious. Longao waved his hand and stopped Han Yin. He smiled and said, "Sister Han, if a dog bites you, are you going to bite back?" "Poochie." Han Yin couldn't hold back her laughter, and the people around her laughed as well. Many people knew about the enmity between Longao and the Blackrock City's city lord, but they never thought that the enmity between the two would reach such a stage. What are you? How dare you speak to the city lord like this? Who the hell are you? How dare you talk to me like that? One of the high gods behind Longao looked extremely furious. He took a step forward and arrived in front of Longao and the other two in an instant. He sent a palm strike towards Longao. The Jindan domain enveloped Longao. The reason why high gods were superior to mid-gods was because of their Jindan domain. Absolute suppression. Everyone thought that Longao would be at a disadvantage this time. Originally, they thought that Elder Han and Palace Master Dongfang would help him. But what was the result? No matter if it was Han Yin or Dongfang Tu Ying, they didn't make a move. They just watched coldly. What was going on? Was there something fishy going on? Nangong Chen didn't make a move either. He just watched coldly. In his opinion, the reason why the two didn't make a move was because they were afraid of him or his father. If that was the case, he could let his subordinates teach Longao a good lesson. Nangong Chen had already decided that if Longao dared to step into the heavenly road, he would definitely kill him. Not only did he have to deal with Longao, but he also had to kill Han Yin and Dongfang Tu Ying while they were in the heavenly road. He definitely couldn't do that outside, but after entering the heavenly road, it was a completely different matter. Cut the weeds and eliminate the roots to prevent future troubles. Because of this, Nangong Chen brought many high gods and master gods into the heavenly road, no matter if they were from the upper or lower levels. It should be more than enough to deal with the three of them. This person was vicious and merciless. Even if he didn't dare to kill him because of the pill hall, he still had to teach him a good lesson. He might even cripple him. That was why there was an accident. But what was the result? When this person released his golden core domain, Longao wasn't affected at all. With the release of his primordial spirit imprisonment, Longao could do it without anyone noticing. A miserable scream resounded through the entire Blackstone mountain range. Before the crowd could react, the high god who attacked just now had already fallen to the ground. His whole body was trembling and he looked extremely tragic. In the blink of an eye, he had already gone crazy. What was going on? Everyone's expression changed when they saw the trembling high god lying on the ground. This was especially true for Nangong Chen. His face was as gloomy as it could get. Dongfang Tu Ying, Han Yin, are you looking for trouble? Not only Nangong Chen, even the others thought that with Longao's strength as a mid-god, how could he defeat a high god in one move? Even they didn't know what was going on. The only explanation was that it wasn't done by Longao, but by the two master gods beside Longao. Han Yin and Dongfang Tu Ying didn't deny it. Of course, they knew what was going on. Although Longao was only a mid-god, he had already comprehended his own golden core domain. It was just that the two of them were very curious. They didn't know how Longao did it. He was actually able to defeat a high god without anyone noticing. With a single glance, they knew that this high god was completely crippled. Nangong Chen, as the city lord of Blackstone City, how shameless are you? You actually allowed a high god to defeat Longao. It seems like you really want to provoke my pill hall. Do you want me to report to the pill hall and tell them everything that happened here? If it was just Dongfang Tu Ying alone, Nangong Chen wouldn't be afraid. However, Han Yin's situation was a little different. Han Yin's position in the pill hall was very high. It was even rumored that Han Yin might be the daughter of the pill hall's hall master. If that was the case, once this matter was known by the pill hall, it would be equivalent to provoking the pill hall. Unless there was no other choice, Nangong Chen would never provoke the pill hall. Otherwise, he wouldn't have let go of Longao so easily when he had already trapped him. Nangong Chen's expression changed again and again. It was simply gloomy to the extreme. He stared at the three people in front of him and sneered, very good, very good. I will settle this debt with you. I hope you can leave the heavenly road alive. We will wait and see. Nangong Chen, I hope you won't disappoint me. Longao didn't have the slightest fear. So what if the other party was a master god? So what if he was the city lord of Blackstone City? Once he stepped into the heavenly road, it was really unknown who would survive. He even hoped to meet people from Blackstone City. Chapter 2942. He didn't care at all. Nangong Chen didn't want to make a fool of himself. He immediately turned around and left. Everyone's gaze towards Longao became more and more disdainful. A person who only relied on the pill hall stepped into the heavenly road. It was obvious what kind of consequences he would face. Longao, how powerful is your golden core realm? Han Yin and Dongfang Tu Ying were shocked. They never expected Longao's golden core realm to be so powerful. Previously, Longao fought against 6 and killed 6 superior gods from the City Lord Mansion. They still didn't know what happened. He smiled. Although I have comprehended the golden core realm, it's impossible for me to kill a superior god in one move. Then why? The reason why I was able to succeed just now was because the opponent was careless. He didn't take me seriously at all. Dongfang Tu Ying and Han Yin nodded in agreement. If the opponent wasn't careless, even they wouldn't be able to defeat him in one move without anyone noticing. Sister Han, brother Dongfang, other than comprehending the golden core realm, I also have a divine ability, primordial spirit imprisonment. Towards the two people, Longao also did not have the slightest bit of concealment and spoke about the matter of him possessing the primordial spirit imprisonment. They were shocked. Of course, they knew what primordial spirit imprisonment meant. No wonder Longao could defeat the opponent in one move. He had such a powerful divine ability. Brother Long, with this divine ability alone, you're number 1 under the Overgod. The two of them were originally worried for Longao, but they did not expect that Longao actually possessed such a heaven-defying ability. Even if he entered the heavenly road, he could also travel unimpeded all the way. No one could match him. As for Nangong Chen and the Overgods, they couldn't enter the lower levels. Brother Long, even if you have the primordial spirit imprisonment divine ability, you can't let your guard down. The heavenly road is full of danger. Many people have died in the heavenly road itself. How could Longao not know what Sister Han was talking about? Sister Han, brother Dongfang, you have to be careful too. Nangong Fengyun was already a peak divine king, so he couldn't step into heaven's road. However, in order to kill Longao, Nangong Fengyun didn't just send out many superior gods from the City Lord's mansion and the Domain Lord's mansion, he even contacted many domain lords. With Nangong Fengyun's status, he still had some face. On the other hand, Longao was just a mere mid-level deity. This was not a big deal to the domain chief's manners. Before entering Heaven's Road, Longao had already been targeted by countless people. Unknowingly. A month passed in the blink of an eye. The opening day had just arrived, and the entrance to Heaven's Road was already slowly opening. It was a huge white spatial gate. There was an uproar. No one hesitated and immediately rushed towards the white space gate. Each one of them was faster than the last, and their speed soared to the extreme. Everyone was very clear that being able to stand at the entrance did not mean that they would definitely be able to enter Heaven's Road. The majority of the people were unable to step into Heaven's Road. No matter what, the Heaven's Road would only open for a few hours. Once the hours passed, no one would be able to enter the Heaven's Road. Everyone became incomparably crazy. Before entering Heaven's Road, the battle had already begun. Longao and the other two entered Heaven's Road at the same time. There were 2 entrances to Heaven's Road. One was the lower level entrance, and the other was the upper level entrance. Dongfang Tu Ying and Han Yin definitely went to the upper level entrance, while Longao went to the lower level entrance. Everyone in the Blackstone heavenly region, regardless of whether they were mid-level deities or low-level deities, began to madly attack Longao. No one dared to go against Nangong Fengyun's secret order. Moreover, if they could successfully kill Longao, then in front of Nangong Fengyun, not only would they be able to obtain a great reward, but they would also be able to make the domain chief owe them a favor. Such a good thing, how could anyone not be willing to do it? With the Xian Yuan sword in hand, Longao did not show any mercy at all. The first sword of the 9 god-slaying swords was constantly swung. At this time, Longao did not show any mercy either. Anyway, in such a chaotic situation, even if he used his Jindan realm, no one would discover it. Facing low-level deities and mid-level deities, Longao basically killed them instantly. Anyone who came close to him would be killed by the sword chi in his hand. In such a situation, it was a complete massacre. Even facing high-level deities, Longao used both his Jindan realm and primordial spirit imprisonment to attack. The Xian Yuan sword in his hand was the most terrifying weapon. Wherever it passed, there was no one who could resist it. In just a few seconds, Longao had already killed thousands of warriors. What kind of concept was this? Looking at the entrance that was less than 10 meters wide, Longao was really depressed to the extreme. In front of the densely packed crowd, it was really a difficult thing to force his way through. If this was the case, then if he wanted to enter the space door and enter Heaven's Road, there would be no hope at all. He definitely could not miss this opportunity. Blackie, swallow it. He absolutely could not go on like this. According to Sister Han and Brother Dongfang, the time that Heaven's Road opened was uncertain. Sometimes it opened once every few years, and sometimes it opened once every few 100 million years. If he could not enter Heaven's Road this time, who knew how long he would have to wait to enter Heaven's Road again? In desperation, Longao could only use Blackie's power. A huge monster instantly appeared and opened a path for Longao. No matter who it was, it directly swallowed them, no matter if they were mid-level deities or high-level deities. It swallowed them all. What kind of divine beast is this? Quickly retreat. Seeing the huge monster swallowing everything, everyone was scared silly. Even if they wanted to enter Heaven's Road, they had to first protect their own lives. Otherwise, everything else would be nonsense. The surrounding people began to make way for Longao. In a short while, a path was opened for Longao. Delighted, Longao quickly walked out and disappeared from the entrance in the blink of an eye. Just as Longao and Blackie disappeared from the entrance, everyone was stunned for a full 3 minutes. Only then did they once again rush into the entrance. After 6 hours, the space door closed once more. Less than a third of the tens of millions of people were able to enter Heaven's Road. Those who were unable to enter Heaven's Road were all dejected. Those who were unable to enter Heaven's Road would have to wait until the next time it opened. Our luck is really bad this time. Who knows how long we'll have to wait for the next time Heaven's Road opens. TMPH, it's all because of Longao. If he had not suddenly released a divine beast that could swallow martial artists, perhaps we would have already entered Heaven's Road. TMPH, if he won't let us enter Heaven's Road, then I'll destroy his Dragon City. If you're not convinced, then let's go to Dragon City together. Let's go. We've been together for so many years. Destroying Dragon City is too easy. If he won't let us be happy, then we'll make him lose everything. Chapter 2943. Dragon City. A few days after the Heavenly Road was closed, tens of thousands of warriors gathered outside Dragon City. They were all furious because in everyone's opinion, they couldn't enter the Heavenly Road because of Longao. If they didn't kill Longao, how could they face themselves? In everyone's opinion, not to mention tens of thousands of warriors joining forces, even 1% of them could easily destroy the entire Dragon City. I, Luo Changhe, want all the pills of the Elixir Pavilion. Luo Changhe was a peak superior god. He was the strongest warrior here because all the lords had entered the Heavenly Road. All of them despised each other to the extreme. One could imagine the value of the Elixir Pavilion's pills. To take them all for himself was simply arrogant to the extreme. Killing intent surged. Tens of thousands of warriors rushed towards Dragon City. Their faces were filled with anger, but more of them were filled with greed. Just when everyone thought that it would be easy to destroy Dragon City suddenly appeared. The situation suddenly changed. Dragon City suddenly released a layer of terrifying power that instantly enveloped the entire Dragon City. From afar, Dragon City seemed to be enveloped in a layer of white air. The 9 Revolutions Chaos Array, just what level of array formation was, even Longao himself did not know. Even though they knew that Dragon City was protected by a formation, no one took it seriously. Tens of thousands of warriors rushed into Dragon City. In just a few minutes, the tens of thousands of warriors had all disappeared without a trace. Dragon City was still Dragon City. After the tens of thousands of warriors entered the city, they didn't enter Dragon City as expected. Instead, they entered a boundless space. Is this a formation? F***CK, so what if it's a formation? As long as it's not a level 4 formation, we have nothing to fear. The tens of thousands of warriors didn't take the formation seriously at all. Their eyes were filled with mockery. Previously, Longao had fought with a level 3 formation master. Therefore, everyone thought that Longao was only a level 3 formation master. A level 3 formation set up by a level 3 formation master wasn't enough to deal with tens of thousands of warriors. The result? Claps of thunder rang out. Countless lightning bolts struck down. Not only that, the surrounding air began to condense into puppets that began to wildly attack the tens of thousands of warriors. Longao was worried that the 9 Revolution Chaos formation he set up wouldn't be able to protect Dragon City. Therefore, in addition to the 9 Revolution Chaos formation, he also set up hundreds of level 4 formations. What did this mean? A level 4 formation master. At this moment, everyone recognized that the formation they were trapped in was not a level 3 formation at all, but a level 4 formation. Everyone was scared out of their wits. Many people recognized the seriousness of the matter. If they did not leave the array as soon as possible, there was only one result waiting for them, and that was to be obliterated by the array. It was easier said than done to break the formation and leave. Among the tens of thousands of martial artists, there must be an array master, but there was no 4th level array master. Even if it was a 3rd level array master, wanting to break through hundreds of 4th level array masters was like a fool's dream. It was almost impossible. Not to mention, Longao also arranged a 9 Revolution Chaos array in Dragon City. The array revolved and interlocked. People fell one after another. There was no way to shut down the formation in Dragon City. In other words, unless Longao personally returned to close the formation, otherwise, once the formation was opened, the formation would only close if everyone within the formation was killed. Setting up such a terrifying array formation, Longao did it just in case. Unless a powerful divine king like Nangong Fengyun came to break the formation, even a level 4 formation master would not be able to break through the 9 Revolution Chaos formation and hundreds of level 4 formations. As for Nangong Fengyun, Longao was sure that he would not come to break the formation. As the domain lord of the Blackstone Heavenly region, Nangong Fengyun valued his reputation more than anything else. How could he casually attack Dragon City's formation? Other than his reputation, Nangong Fengyun was also afraid of the Pill Hall. In less than 2 hours, more than half of the 70,000 martial artists had been lost. If this continued, it would only take another 2 hours at most for all the remaining cultivators to perish. To be able to kill more than 70,000 warriors in just 4 hours was an impossible feat in itself. The second day, the news that 70,000 warriors were trapped in Dragon City's formation and were all killed had spread across the entire Blackstone Heavenly region. Those who received the news were all shocked and could not believe it. Everyone knew that old AO was a level 3 formation master. However, they did not expect that the formation Longao had set up in Dragon City could kill 70,000 warriors. What kind of concept was that? Originally, many people wanted to seize the Elixir Pavilion when Longao and the other 2 were not in Dragon City. However, they did not expect Dragon City to have such a terrifying formation. Those who had such thoughts immediately gave up the idea. Blackstone City, Domain Lord's Manor. Since the loss of the 10,000-year Fire Lotus, Nangong Fengyun had been investigating who had touched the 10,000-year Fire Lotus. The 10,000-year Fire Lotus, which was about to mature, was lost due to his negligence. He regretted it very much, but in this case, it was too late to regret. Nangong Fengyun did not expect this when he received the news from Dragon City. His face was gloomy. He knew clearly that Dragon City's formation could kill 70,000 warriors. A simple level 3 formation would not be able to do that. Unless it was a level 4 formation and a very powerful level 4 formation master. Could it be that Longao was already a level 4 formation master? It should be impossible. How could Nangong Fengyun not know that Longao was a level 3 formation master? In such a short period of time, Even if Longao was very talented in formations, it was impossible for him to become a level 4 formation master. In his opinion, Dragon City's level 4 formation should be related to the Pill Hall. The Pill Hall really valued Longao. Not only did they protect Longao to go against him, they even helped him to set up such a heaven-defying level 4 formation that could kill 70,000 warriors. Nangong Fengyun was very clear about the significance of such a formation. Putting aside the problem of his reputation, he couldn't even go to the Dragon City. Even if he disregarded his reputation and went to break the formation, he might end up losing the rice used to lure him. Level 4 Formation Master, or even Level 5 Formation Master. However, there were no such Formation Masters in the Blackstone Heavenly Region. He had to go to the Middle Heavenly Region to find one. Thinking of this, Nangong Fengyun immediately left the Domain Lord's Manor and went to the Middle Heavenly Region to find a stronger Formation Master. Chapter 2944. Heaven's Road. No one knew how Heaven's Road appeared. But every time Heaven's Road opened, there was no time limit. Sometimes, it would open once every few years. Sometimes, it would not open even once in a few 100 million years. Once Heaven's Road opened, everyone in the Chaos Realm's 99 heaven domains would enter Heaven's Road. Heaven's Road was divided into 2 layers. Only Master Gods could enter the upper layer. The lower layer was for lower gods, middle gods, and high gods. Legends said, inside Heaven's Road, there were countless opportunities. But it was also filled with danger. Of everyone who entered, if even 1% of them could leave alive, it would be considered lucky. Longao had just stepped into the entrance, and in the blink of an eye, he had already entered Heaven's Road. The dark sky gave people a stifling feeling. Holding the Shenyuan sword, Xiao Chen had just landed on the Heavenly Road when he casually slashed out a few times. Sword chi crisscrossed and streaks of sword chi quickly shot out, bringing with them a bloody mist. Third-rank spirit beast Night Wolf. He was startled. Longao naturally knew that Heaven's Road was filled with danger. Legends said that people who entered had to be on guard at all times. If they were not careful, they would lose their heads. Even so, Longao still did not expect that Heaven's Road's danger would be so terrifying. In front of him was a black mass. There were third-rank night wolves everywhere. At a glance, there were at least a few million of them. What kind of concept was this? Even if he did not fear third-rank spirit beasts, such a large number of night wolves would tire him to death. Ever since he entered Heaven's Road, Longao had already sensed that because of the rules of Heaven's Road, he could not enter Chaos Palace. In other words, he could only fight against countless third-rank night wolves. Holding Shen Yuan's sword, he used the first move of the 9 god-slaying swords. Sword after sword, it was airtight. Longao's sword was as fast as lightning. Sword chi flew out, bringing with it a bloody mist. Even so, there were too many night wolves. It was impossible to kill them all. Big brother, let me help you. In order to deal with the dangers of Heaven's Road, Longao had already summoned Little Black. He had guessed that he could not enter Chaos Palace, and after entering Heaven's Road, it was true. Little Black was already a peak high god, and even had the swallowing heaven divine ability. Let's end this quickly. Blackie's figure flashed out like a bolt of lightning. It opened its mouth wide and began to devour the surrounding night wolves. If it were any other spirit beast, they would have fled in fright upon encountering such a terrifying heaven-devouring beast. However, the night wolves refused to leave even when they saw their tribesmen being devoured one by one. They were like moths to a flame. If this continued, even Little Black would not be able to withstand the attacks of thousands of night wolves. Heavenly flame. Of course, Longao knew the severity of the situation. The burning heart flame lotus appeared in his right hand and he started to throw it at the surrounding night wolves. There was no need to mention the strength of the mysterious flame, not to mention the burning heart flame lotus, which was ranked 7th. Its strength was not to be underestimated. Even so, the night wolves were still unwilling to leave. More and more night wolves rushed over from all directions. The night wolves that Longao and Blackie had killed were like a drop in the bucket to the enormous night wolf pack. This was not a solution at all. It absolutely could not go on like this. A flame suddenly appeared in Longao's palm. It was the first-ranked primal chaos flame. Ever since he obtained the primal chaos flame, Longao had never used it. He did not know how powerful it was. This was the first time he used it. The power of the primal chaos flame was far above the burning heart flame lotus. The terrifying flame was like a flame king descending and directly enveloping all the night wolves. Little Black, let's go. The power of the primal chaos flame was indeed stronger than the burning heart flame lotus. Even so, it was still unable to destroy all the night wolves. If this continued, he and Little Black would never be able to walk out of it. Just like this, under the constant attacks of the two heavenly flames, Longao brought Little Black to open a bloody path. What made him curious was why so many martial artists were sent into Heaven's Road, but he was the only one here. Where were the others? The only thing Longao was sure of was that Heaven's Road was boundless. Even if countless martial artists from the 99 heaven domains stepped into it, it was still not enough for Heaven's Road. After killing for a full 2 hours, Longao finally managed to carve out a bloody path. Until now, Longao finally knew why the night wolves were like moths to a flame. In the end, it was because of his bad luck. The place where he was sent into Heaven's Road just happened to be the territory of the night wolves. Therefore, they were not willing to lose their territory. The night wolves would definitely not be willing to take half a step back. Little Black's body could become bigger or smaller. The current Little Black was only the size of a palm. He sat quietly on Longao's shoulder. He seemed to be quite tired. Little Black, can you find the treasures in Heaven's Road? Longao had already asked Dongfang Tu Ying and Han Yin about Heaven's Road. However, the two of them did not know how Heaven's Road appeared. Perhaps even God Emperors did not know. However, the two of them were very sure that Heaven's Road was full of opportunities and dangers. If one was lucky, one could obtain opportunities. If one was unlucky, one would face danger. Little Black nodded and said with a smile, "Big brother, don't worry. I can find the ordinary treasures in Heaven's Road for you. However, I have a feeling that there is something calling me in Heaven's Road. It seems to be related to my inheritance." Longao was very surprised. Of course, he knew what Xiao Hei meant. If that was the case, then no matter what, he had to help Xiao Hei obtain it. After all, Xiao Hei's inheritance was no small matter. Just the devouring divine ability that he had inherited was already very heaven-defying. Xiao Hei was only a pinnacle higher god, but he could forcefully devour beginner-level and mid-level lords. What did that mean? Little Black, can you sense where the thing calling you in Heaven's Road is? Big brother, we have just entered Heaven's Road. This thing seems to be very weak. I will try my best to sense it. Okay. In fact, Longao didn't say that even he himself also felt that there was a mysterious power summoning him. He didn't know if it was the same as Xiao Hei's situation, but it didn't matter. He had to find this mysterious power to summon. Maybe it could help him improve his strength. The more he thought about it, the more excited he became. However, Longao did not act too hastily. He knew very well that they had just entered Heaven's Road. It was indeed not suitable for him to look for it now. He had to observe everything first. As for the current task, it was to find a way to find the people from Blackstone City's City Lord's mansion and Domain Chief's mansion. He had to kill them all and eliminate all future troubles. Chapter 2945. Ever since he comprehended the Golden Core Realm and had the primordial spirit shackle, Longao had full confidence that he could kill a superior god. Even if he couldn't kill a superior god, he still had Xiao Hei who could devour a master god. It could be said that, lower level of Heaven's Road. Unless it was a crisis of Heaven's Road itself. As for the warriors from the 99 Heavens domain, Longao wasn't afraid at all. He would kill whoever came. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. Longao wanted to find the warriors from Blackrock City and the Domain Chief's manor, but he didn't expect them to come first. There were more than 20 people, all of whom were superior gods. They were all superior gods and peak superior gods. The leader was a peak superior god named Scar. Scar was stunned when he saw Longao. Longao? Not only Scar, But the others were also delighted. Of course, they knew what it meant to kill Longao. Not to mention whether they could succeed, just the thought of getting the treasures on Longao made them excited. According to the rumors, Longao had a space artifact in his hands that even a god king couldn't break. In addition to the space artifact, he also had a strange flame. The more they thought about it, the more excited they became. Longao, you can't blame others for barging into hell when there's a path to heaven. More than 20 high gods joining forces to kill a puny god was something which could be accomplished in but a few minutes. After stepping into heaven's road, Scar and the others had already felt the suppression of the rules here. No matter who it was, they couldn't enter the space artifact. They were excited to the extreme. How could Longao not know what they were thinking? He smiled and said, "You want my space artifact and strange flame? Ha ha ha, you're really smart. Since you're so smart, we'll give you a chance. As long as you hand over the space artifact and strange flame, we'll consider leaving your corpse intact. With just you." Before Scar and the others could speak, Longao said again, "If you kneel down and beg for mercy, maybe I'll spare your lives." "Spare our lives? Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha." Hearing Longao's words, the 20 or so people all laughed out loud. Their laughter was filled with endless ridicule and contempt, as if they had heard the funniest thing in the world. A god actually dared to say that he would spare their lives. However, it must be known that there was not a single mid-level high god amongst the 20 or so of them. All of them were high-level high gods and peak high gods. That was especially so for him, who was half a step away from becoming an overgod. Currently, Scar had already comprehended a portion of the power of space. If he could comprehend 30% of spatial power, he would have truly broken through to beginner-level lord level. Lords were divided into beginner lords, intermediate lords, advanced lords, and pinnacle lords. Primary-level lords comprehended 30% of spatial power, mid-level lords comprehended 60% of spatial power, high-level lords comprehended 90% of spatial power, and pinnacle lords comprehended 10% of spatial power. Once one truly grasped the power of space, one would truly become a god king. He had comprehended a fraction of spatial strength and was now a half-step lord. What kind of concept was that? From the 20 or so people's point of view, Longao would not be able to fight against any one of them, let alone if they were to join forces. "Longao, I have to admit that you're really arrogant. If it weren't for the pill hall favoring you, do you think you'd be able to live until now? Ignorance killed the cat." Longao really suspected that the 20 or so people in front of him were blinded by the treasures. However, after giving it some thought, he understood. Even those who had seen him fight against Nangong Fengyun and Nangong Chen with their own eyes would not believe that he could fight against lords and god kings. That was the only explanation. It was only because he had the pill hall behind him. Otherwise, he would have been at the mercy of others. "Brother Scar, why are you talking so much nonsense with him? After we kill him, we'll bring his corpse back to the Black Rock City and hand it over to the Dominator and the city governor. When the time comes," Longao laughed and said, "do you believe that even if I don't do anything, all of you will end up in a tragedy? None of you will be able to leave this place alive. Ha ha ha. Motherf asterisk Kerr. You're really shameless. I'm standing here today. I'd like to see if you can kill me without doing anything." The 20 or so people, including Scar, were furious. They had seen arrogant people before, but they had never seen someone as arrogant as Lin Fan. "Xiao Hei, how long will it take?" Xiao Hei sneered and said in disdain, "Not even half a minute." Insult. It was a blatant insult. Of course, Scar and the others knew what Longao and the spiritual beasts were talking about. He said that he would not even need half a minute to kill 20 or so of them. No one would believe that, let alone them. "Me." Xiao Hei was furious and roared angrily, "Today, I'll show you my swallowing heaven divine power. Ha 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 ha." Xiao Hei's body left Longao's body and rushed towards the 20 or so people. Under the shocked eyes of the crowd, Xiao Hei's body grew bigger and bigger. In just a few seconds, it had become a huge monster. It was very terrifying. Kill him. Scar did not know what was wrong with him. He was actually afraid. He must be overthinking. A spiritual beast that was only a superior god, even if it had some ability, could not be a match for them. It was just that Longao was too confident. Could it be that Longao really thought that this spiritual beast could kill 20 or so of them? It was complete nonsense. If he believed it, he would be a fool. Dao Ba and the others did not sit still and wait for death. Everyone already understood that the reason why Longao was so arrogant was completely because of the colossus in front of them. Otherwise, Longao alone would not dare to be so arrogant. If they killed this spiritual beast, then Longao would be meat on the chopping board, ready to be slaughtered. The 20 or so people began to attack Xiao He wildly. However, Xiao He ignored them completely. Although it was only a superior god, its defense could not even break through a lord's, let alone the 20 or so people before it. It could choose to ignore them directly. I'll show you my swallowing heaven divine power. Ha 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 ha. Xiao He suddenly opened its mouth and began to devour the 20 or so people before it. The swallowing heaven divine power could even devour a mid-level lord, let alone these 20 or so people before it. It was a piece of cake. Run, mother***ka. Ah, I beg you, don't devour me. I can choose to submit. I'm willing to be a dog. I'm willing to be a dog too. Chapter 2946. Become a dog. Blackie swallowed one of them and turned to look at Longao. He laughed and said, "Big brother, they're willing to be dogs. Don't you think so?" Blackie's meaning was very clear. Humiliation. It was a great humiliation. As superior gods, especially Scar, who was a half-step lord, they were usually high and mighty. How many people would have thought that these people, who were usually high and mighty, would say something like this at a time like this? Pride and life could not be compared at all. Ha ha ha, become a dog. Sorry, I don't need dogs like you. Blackie, don't waste time. Devour. Okay. Blackie did not dare to be unreasonable. He opened his mouth and activated his devouring divine power, beginning to devour by force. One had to admit that Blackie's devouring divine power was indeed incredible. No matter what kind of martial artist it devoured, there would be no after effects. In just a few minutes, the 20 or so superior gods were all devoured, leaving only Scarface. Looking at the empty space in front of him, not even a single person was left. Scar was scared out of his wits. It was his first time seeing such an incredible spiritual beast. He forcefully swallowed his saliva. "My lord, I was blind just now. Please spare my life." At this moment, Scar could no longer care about anything else. Even if the other party was an ordinary person, he would have to beg for mercy at this time, let alone a superior god. The reason Blackie did not devour Scar was Longao's idea. "Are you from Blackrock City's city governor's mansion or the domain chief's mansion?" Now that things had come to this, Scar did not dare to continue being arrogant. He said carefully, "I'm from the city governor's mansion, but I have nothing to do with it. From now on, I'm just Sir's dog." City governor's mansion? How many people have come from Blackrock City this time? About 100 superior gods. They're all here. At this point, Scar did not continue. However, the meaning of his words was very clear. It had to be said that Nangong Fengyun and Nangong Chen had put in a lot of effort to deal with Longao. They had sent out more than 100 superior gods. But you have to know. The 100-odd people that Blackrock City had sent this time were all powerful high gods. For example, Scar was a half-step lord. Nangong Chen felt that a powerful team like this would definitely be able to kill Longao without a hitch. But what was the result? It was just a single exchange. Out of the hundreds of people in Blackrock City, they had already lost more than 20 people. What kind of concept was this? If Nangong Chen and Nangong Fengfeng knew about this, they would be heartbroken. Among all of you, who is the strongest? Boss Shen has comprehended 20% of the power of space. He's only a sliver away from officially becoming a lord. Dao Ba had comprehended one portion of space while Boss Shen had comprehended 2 portions of space. Although it was only 1 portion more, Longao was very clear about how big the difference was. He sneered in his heart. Since Blackrock City was so willing, then don't blame him for being impolite. Before entering the Heavenly Road, Longao had already decided that he had to kill everyone in Blackrock City. This was also the real reason why Longao didn't kill Scar. You have a way to contact them? Yes. Longao didn't ask how he could contact them. He smiled and said, now, I'll have to trouble you to summon everyone in Blackrock City. Also, spread the word that I have a strange flame, a spatial artifact, and many heaven-defying treasures. Ah! This. Scar was completely dumbfounded. He didn't think that Lin Fan would ask him to do this. Without knowing what Lin Fan meant, Scar didn't dare to act rashly. He knew very well that if news of this spread, Lin Fan would definitely die. How could Longao not know what Scar was thinking? He said coldly, do what I say. Don't ask about anything else. Otherwise, you should be able to imagine the consequences. After confirming that Lin Fan wasn't joking, Scar was about to get up and contact them. However, at this moment, Longao suddenly made a move and placed several restrictions on Scar's body. Scar didn't need to ask to know what Lin Fan had done to him. He was furious. If it weren't for his fear of Lin Fan's spiritual beast, he would have attacked long ago. How could he have endured until now? After Scar left, Longao immediately began to set up the formation. No matter who came, they could easily destroy a level 4 formation. Originally, Lin Fan wanted to use Xiao Hei's devouring the heavens divine ability. However, if Xiao Hei continued to devour like this, no one could guarantee that Xiao Hei would be fine. Lin Fan didn't dare to take the risk. He could only let Xiao Hei listen first. Big brother, no matter who it is, as long as it's not a high-level lord, I can still devour them. Why do you have to go through so much trouble to set up a level 4 formation? Xiao Hei was very curious. He didn't know what Lin Fan was trying to do. Xiao Hei, I know that your devouring the heavens divine ability is extremely powerful. However, I can't be sure that you won't suffer a backlash from devouring so many warriors. It's better to be safe than sorry. What if something happens to you? Longao did not continue speaking. However, the meaning behind his words was very clear. Xiao Hei seemed to want to say something, but in the end, he swallowed his words. His eyes were filled with gratitude and gratitude. Initially, Scar wanted to seize the opportunity to leave. However, he had not expected Longao to place a restriction on him. If he tried to leave by force, he would probably die a horrible death. Left with no other choice, he could only follow Longao's instructions and send a message as soon as possible. He also began to summon his companions. In less than 3 days, Boss Shen rushed over with more than 80 people. Apart from training, their most important goal in entering the Heavenly Road this time was to kill Longao. Upon hearing Scar's summons, Boss Shen had already gathered everyone together and was making their way over. Among the 80 or so high gods, there were dozens of half-step lords. As for Boss Shen, he had even comprehended two-dimensional space. His ability was the best among everyone below the level of lords. If they still couldn't kill Longao, then the heavens would not let Longao go. Scar, where are your men? Scar looked helpless as he said, Longao is a level 3 formation master. The formation he set up killed my subordinates. Left with no other choice, I could only summon Boss Shen to deal with Longao personally. Otherwise, Boss Shen waved his hand and snorted heavily. Without waiting for Scar to continue, he continued, you lost more than 20 high gods for a mere middle-level god. I'd like to see how you're going to explain this to the governor and the territorial governor when we leave the Heavenly Road. Chapter 2947. Damn it. Scar cursed in his heart. He didn't even know what was going on with his life. How was he going to explain to Blackrock City? Scar looked fearful and said helplessly, I'm sorry for my incompetence. Please help me, Boss Shen. That was what he wanted. Boss Shen laughed and said, very well. As long as you follow me from now on, I promise you'll be fine. Thank you, Boss Shen. Do you know where Longao is? Yes, Boss Shen. Follow me. From the beginning to the end, Boss Shen never thought that Scar would betray him. Betraying him was equivalent to betraying the Blackrock City Governor's mansion and the Domain Chief's mansion. Even a Divine King expert wouldn't dare to do that, let alone Scar. Not only Boss Shen and the others, But Scar had spread rumors that Longao not only had a space artifact and a strange flame, but also had various treasures. Many people were heading towards Longao's location. There were at least hundreds of superior gods. What did that mean? Hundreds of high gods, no matter who they were, would be able to easily deal with them. Level 4 array formation. Longao had set up a total of 9 level 4 array formations. The 9 level 4 formations were linked. As long as one formation was activated, all 9 formations would be activated. Longao had set up 9 formations. Unless one could break all 9 formations at the same time, it would be useless to break any one of them. 9 serial killing formation. Boss Shen, we're here. Scar didn't need to say anything. Boss Shen had already seen the figure standing in the distance. It was none other than the person that Blackrock City wanted to kill, Longao. He sped up and arrived in the blink of an eye. Longao, I have to admit that you're really arrogant. You didn't run away when you met us. Boss Shen wasn't the only one. The 80 superior gods of Blackrock City were all curious. They didn't know why Longao was so arrogant and dared to stay here. Scar, you've completed your task. Why don't you get your ass over here? Dogs should be obedient. Dogs should be obedient. Hearing Longao's words, Scar's face instantly turned gloomy, but he didn't dare to say anything. Scar was completely dumbfounded. He had thought that when the two sides fought, no matter who won, or at best, both sides would suffer heavy losses, he would be able to reap the benefits. But now, Longao didn't give him any chance at all. How could he not be angry? Boss Shen and the others all looked at Scar. Their intentions were clear. How should he choose? On one side was Longao, and on the other was Boss Shen. Even though Scar had seen the power of Longao's spirit beasts with his own eyes, he wasn't sure who would win if they started fighting. Boss Shen knew very well that if he made the wrong choice, he would be consigned to eternal damnation. What to do? It was a difficult choice. The more Dao Ba acted like this, the more curious Boss Shen became. Did Dao Ba really betray him and Blackrock City? If that was the case, Scar, do you have any? Of course, Scar knew what Boss Shen meant. He had to make a choice as soon as possible. Otherwise, he might end up dying a horrible death if he failed to please both sides. He gritted his teeth. Boss Shen, I'm Boss Long's dog now. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Longao guffawed. He did not say anything at all. However, this was more humiliating than anything else. A mighty half-step Lord-level martial artist had actually admitted to being Longao's lackey in front of everyone. Scar, do you know what the consequences of what you're doing now will be? Boss Shen's expression was equally terrible. He had never thought that Scar would betray him, the city governor's residence, and the territorial master's residence. Could Scar and Longao have done this on purpose? If that was the case, why would they do this? Could it be that they were just trying to trick him and the others into coming here? Not only was he a half-step lord who had comprehended two-dimensional space, but there were also over 80 high gods behind him. There were even dozens of half-step lords among them. Even if Scar had succeeded in tricking him into coming here, he would not be able to gain anything. He might even lose his life. Now, he had a bad feeling about this. Ha ha ha, I'm Boss Long's man now. What T city governor's residence and territorial master's residence have nothing to do with me. Old Dogshan, do you think you'll be able to leave this place alive? Everyone burst into laughter. Dao Ba, who do you think Longao is? Not to mention Boss Shen, even this meow can easily kill him. That's right. Don't think that you can throw your weight around just because you've sided with this piece of trash. When we kill Longao, we'll tear you to pieces. It would be a lie to say that he was not afraid. Scar had placed all his bets on Longao. If Longao lost, not only would Longao's head be separated from his body, but Scar would also be torn apart. Just as Scar was about to say something, Longao suddenly turned around. His voice drifted over. Scar, although you're my dog now, there seems to be something between you and them that hasn't been resolved. I'll wait for you inside. Come in and look for me when you're done. Boss Long, you can't kick me to the curb after I've outlived my usefulness. Before Knife Scar could finish his words, The people around him had already swarmed over. 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. In just a few minutes, Knife Scar had died tragically under the siege of the crowd. Looking at the corpse on the ground, Bostchen did not care at all. He believed that the domain chief's mansion would not blame him even if he killed such a traitor. As for Longao, for some reason, Bostchen had a bad feeling about this. Bostchen, are we not going to do anything? How could Bostchen not know what the people behind him were thinking? Even though he knew that Longao was doing this on purpose, he had to do something. Otherwise, not only would he not be able to explain himself to the territorial master's residence when he returned to Blackrock City, many people might be dissatisfied with him now. Even though he knew that there was danger ahead, he had to go ahead and kill Longao. You must be Bostchen. Since you're here, why don't you come in? Are you afraid of my formation? Everyone knew that Longao was a level 3 formation master. He had even killed a level 3 formation master earlier. If he were a level 4 formation master, they would have turned around and left. They definitely would not have dared to step into the formation because a level 4 formation was enough to kill them. However, it was only a level 3 formation. There were more than 80 superior gods and dozens of half-step lords. It was impossible for a half-step lord like Bostchen, who had comprehended 2-dimensional space, to trap them. Longao was being too arrogant. Someone could not take it anymore. He immediately stepped forward and cursed before attacking Longao directly. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.